What's going on, Drinking Buddies? Brand new episode coming right at you. Hope everyone's staying safe out there, washing their hands, staying in their houses when they can if they're able to. My ass has been home for over a week now. Kind of lost track of the days. It's kind of weird. This is definitely proven to me that I am not cut out for prison. We are brought to you this week by the video versions of And Now We Drink. The video versions are available on Vimeo at www.anwd.net/videos. See the madness in full HD. There's some occasional nudity. The episodes are a whole nother experience. Seeing everyone's facial expressions, seeing the whole show. So check them out today at www.anwd.net/videos. And to be fair, I have no income besides And Now We Drink. A couple other little things at the moment, so you buying a video version would help me out immensely. So once again, that is www.anwd.net/videos. We are also brought to you this week by my other revenue stream. I'm a Twitch affiliate now, so with all this downtime, I'm going to be streaming video games, Borderlands 3, UFC 2, and a couple other games. Do me a solid. If you're an Amazon Prime user, sign up for your free Twitch Prime account and throw my ass a subscription. It literally costs you 5 minutes to do the sign up and nothing else. My Twitch channel is www.twitch.tv/MattFNSlayer. Appreciate it. I mean, it will bring some more revenue into my house, and I know times are tough, so I'm literally asking for 5 minutes of your time. Other than that, I'm not going to bother you with any other sponsors this week. This week's episode is Miss Petra Blair. She's an adult performer. This episode goes from hyper silly to pretty serious and all over the place. I hope you enjoy it. I enjoyed the fuck out of making it. Sit back, relax, pop a cold one, and enjoy, Drinking Buddies.
Hey, welcome. Oh, are we doing the selfie before we actually get going?
Selfie.
Oh, we gotta do the selfie.
Wait. Can I get you in? Maybe. Okay.
All right. So we'll restart it for good, so I can actually sync this up properly. I can clap. I promise. I can clap.
Too hungover?
No, not anymore. Thankfully, not anymore. This morning, yes, I was kind of hungover, closed a bar, and then I know, alcohol.
Hangover.
I know, I'm fucking old. It happens now. It's like, can't go out and drink all night like I was 20 anymore.
Do you notice since your last birthday that it's become increasingly more intense, your hangovers? But...
No, they're actually not super bad.
No.
It's really just I've been on a bender essentially since Saturday.
Oh, okay, nice. Benders are good. They're important.
They are.
Yeah.
I went to a show Saturday night.
Ooh, what show?
Went and saw Machine Head do the 25th anniversary of Burn My Eyes.
Wow, that sounds intense.
It is quite metal.
I want to be there.
It was a good time.
Cool.
If you're into metal, it was a good time.
Cool.
You're like, no metal for me.
I'll remember never to go to see Machine Head. Or wait, what is that? Machine Head? Yes. Machine Head.
What kind of music are you into?
I like electronic music, mostly house, techno, jazz, R&B. Yeah, I don't know, something like, no offense. I mean, I know I'm white too, mostly, but just something about any music that old white men is kind of not my thing.
This old white man likes jazz.
I don't think you're old.
Well, thank you.
And I'm not saying you don't like jazz. I'm just saying that generally, they like AC/DC, Def Leppard, Pantera, Metallica, Crew is not my thing. No aversion to it. Just
it's not what you want to put in your ear holes.
Yeah, or any other holes, really.
Music. I mean, I guess you could hook up a sub like that scene from fucking the Howard Stern movie.
They used to have a vibrator that did that, actually. Did you see that?
Never saw that one.
There was a vibrator that would vibrate to your bass. Like you would put your headphones in and it would like vibrate in sync. I don't know what happened to it. If it still existed, I would definitely have one, but
Let's see if we can find one on eBay for you.
eBay. I don't know if I want it from eBay. I don't want to use one.
It might be new in box.
But then again, in our industry, in my industry, we do use used toys a lot. So I guess whatever. You know what? Nothing new.
Right. Well, maybe the attachment will be glass or something where you can sterilize it.
Hopefully, yeah. Hopefully it's not like silicone. Yeah, but we'll see.
We'll find it. Maybe.
By the way, big fan of your rings. Just noticing those now.
Thank you. Yeah, they weren't on in the oil.
Oh, yeah. I guess that makes sense.
Yeah. So for the audience who is somehow unaware, this woman mauled me in a ring. Beat me up. Just made me her bitch for a couple minutes.
I don't know if that's the word, really. Like mauled.
I'm maybe exaggerating a little bit for dramatic effect or comedic effect or some effect. I don't know. Maybe it's just, all I know is I stepped into the ring with her. Seconds later, I was on my back and being mounted. In
my defense, though, I mean, we were wrestling. That was what the title of the event was wrestling. And we kept getting kind of like shamed, me and Fiji, for not going hard enough on you. They kept being like, oh, you go harder. You're not giving it him enough. What are you guys doing? Like, they were kind of putting a lot of pressure. So if I hurt you in any way, which I don't think I did, but if I did, it's not really my fault, You
totally crippled me. Like, I couldn't walk the next day.
Good.
Okay. I see how it is. The LoveSense Lush Bullet Vibrator Bluetooth remote control is $120 on eBay.
That's not bad. Is it used?
We'll find out. Says new condition.
Oh, that's the one. That's definitely the one I've seen before. Interesting. New condition, but does that mean like it is like new, but not new?
No, I believe new condition is new. New.
I mean, whatever.
I'm
sure there's been dirtier things in my vagina, so I'm not that concerned, but
you should be. Strangers, at least...
I'll sanitize it before I use it.
Okay, well.
Yeah, but, it just, one can never be sure.
You should always be aware of what you're putting in your vagina and where it's been to the best of your ability.
Yes, exactly, because there's some things we just can't really know, can we?
No, and some things, there's probably you don't really want to know. Just like,
yeah.
Like, do you have a clean test? Okay, cool. I don't want to know anything beyond that.
Yeah, I don't want to know if your test was ever not clean because, by the way, I'm sanitizing my vagina right now in this alcohol. That's why I have this here, in case anyone is wondering.
For the audio audience.
Yes. For the audio audience, I have a vagina straw currently in my tequila, making sure it's clean. So if you ever fuck my straw, it will definitely be free of disease.
Yeah.
It might get you drunk, but that's it.
Sounds like the best vagina ever. No risk of disease. Get you drunk.
Yeah.
That's what I look for.
The vagina of the future.
Yeah. No pregnancy. No worries about pregnancy. Gets me drunk. I'd put a ring on that vagina.
Oh, yeah, I would. I'd put a ring on that cock for sure.
The one that can't get you pregnant?
Yeah.
Don't ever want kids?
Depends, like, who asks me. Like, if someone's trying to wife me up, I might say yes, but yeah, probably not. If I had kids, like, I'd have to be with a very wealthy man that would, like, how we'd have a nanny and all that. I consider myself a very loving person, but, like, it would be a lot.
It's okay to be a loving person, but the sacrifices that you have to make to be a responsible parent, I'm not willing to do.
Yeah, and I don't think people think about that. They're just like, oh, kids. Like, they decide they want kids with the same kind of mentality that they would use that, like, oh, I want ice cream today. Like, it's just kind of this impulse thing. And then they don't think about, oh, a kid, that's a big thing with money and schooling. And, they have to suck my tits all the time. And yeah.
And you have to be responsible for them not being a shitty human later.
Yeah. And then if they do, like... One of someone who my mom actually went to school with just like murdered somebody and like, their parents are like all in disarray because of it. Cause like, I'd be kind of upset if my child killed someone. Yeah. And
isn't that a weird situation where like, your child unlawfully murders someone. They're all upset. Your child goes off to war and kills a lot of people. They're a hero.
That is an interesting point you make. Yes. Yeah. But
no, I know.
My kid would never be in the military either.
Well, if my kid decided that they wanted to be in the military and they're an adult, and I wouldn't sign them up, but they made their own choice.
if my kid made the choice to go into the military, I fucked up. Like either because I think a lot of people go to the military because they need the money, or they want free schooling, or they don't know what they're doing. And I think like either I didn't provide for them, or my husband or whatever baby daddy didn't provide for them enough, so they feel they need to go in the military, or they're just like, I didn't quite do things right with the brain.
Honestly, one of my theories on why healthcare and college tuition is so fucked up in the U.S. because it incentivizes people to not have universal healthcare, not have free college, because it incentivizes them to go into the military.
I never thought about that, but that's actually a good point.
Look at we're 5 minutes in and it's already deep. You're like, what have I signed up for? I thought I was just going to drink and have some laughs, and we're talking about...
Oh, no, never with me. Or with you, apparently, either. I get that impression, but definitely I know with me, it always goes dark pretty fast, so... Whether it's an interracial scene or not, it always goes dark pretty fast.
No sound effects. You just get my mouth noises.
I know. I'm a little disappointed, but that's okay.
Don't worry. The show's young. You'll be much more disappointed by the end of it. By the end of it, like... Oh.
Yeah, we haven't been in this very long, have we? I don't have a timer, but...
No, we're just fresh into it. And we're just cruising right in. Probably pissing off any veterans that are listening to the show.
Yeah.
No,
sorry, guys.
I respect that they do a hard job. And... there's lots of reasons to join.
At the end.
No, it's a hard job. It's a job I never wanted, but there's a lot of reason to join. It sucks that if your only reason to join was, this is my only opportunity to have a better life.
Yeah.
But if you're like, I come from a proud military family and it's the family tradition and I feel like honor bound to do it, cool on you.
Yeah. I appreciate the work that the, Marines and Navy and all these people do. I wish they were doing it for maybe a better cause. And it's not their fault. Again, it's not the individual's fault necessarily that they're doing it a lot of the times. A lot of the times it's necessity. It's just like, it would be nice if like they drafted people to go do like good things in the world.
And they do. They definitely do good things as well as bad things.
Yes, sometimes.
Well, it's just not cut and dry. I mean,
yeah,
there are definitely some conflicts where, hey, we're doing the right thing. There are definitely some endless wars where we're sending our young people to die for a conflict that started before they were born. And that's not good.
Yeah, or for conflict that arises out of the United States' greed that, doesn't really help anybody other than rich people. So, yeah, definitely.
Whoa, this is America. Everything is only to help rich people.
That's true, yeah.
Well, I'm working on being rich. Doing a really poor job of it.
So here's my thing is I'm always on this like kind of weird cusp. I feel like I'm like Humpty Dumpty on the wall. Like I'm about to fall, but I'm not falling yet. I haven't cracked yet. It's like I want to be rich and I have the opportunity. I mean, I'm like mostly white. I'm Latina, but like, very pale, very ghostly, as you can see if you're watching right now.
You're white passing, as it were?
Yeah, I'm white passing. I'm like the whitest of white skin-wise. So I definitely have a lot of opportunity because of that. And also being in like the sex industry, definitely some upward mobility. But there's always like an internal block I have against like really hardcore investing and really like going nose to the grindstone financially, because I just have a feeling that within my lifetime, our financial system as it is going to crash or like be totally restructured because there's a lot of push for like more socialist kind of stuff. So I don't want to spend my whole life or like the next 10, 20 years being miserable and hating my life and just like constantly doing like stock market shit and investing and working my ass off to just be like, oh, actually now we're socialist and all of your money goes to everyone.
So are you hoarding gold?
Am I what?
Are you hoarding gold?
Oh, no, definitely not.
She's winking at me for the audio audience. She's like, no, I definitely don't have a safe full of gold at home.
It's not at my house. That would be stupid.
See, I like you. Like, that shit's off-site. I'm not getting home invaded.
Yeah, what are you talking about? And then what if there's a fire?
Well, that's why you put it in a fireproof safe.
Well, yeah, but you never know with those things. It's like anything else that you buy in America. You never know if the promises really hold up.
Well, that's why you set it on fire first. Duh. You take it to the showroom, you set it on fire. If it doesn't burn, you buy it.
Like, sorry, this one is charred a little on the outside. Can I have another one? I just wanted to test it first.
Right, and I want it in rose gold.
Yes, exactly. Rose gold. Can I have a smart safe in rose gold? I want it to talk to me.
No, you don't want that shit internet enabled. Fuck that. That's how they get your money.
Just like zap it out of there through Wi-Fi.
Yeah, some dude will roll through with an Android phone and be like, I got you gold.
Pokemon Gold. Like you have this app and you're just like, oh, someone has a safe here with lots of money.
Thankfully, it doesn't work like that. Jesus.
Thank God. But it's only a matter of time, really.
Yeah. Speaking of which, like, in tragic real life news.
Oh, no.
Well, the rapper Pop Smoke that got murdered a week or two ago. Did you hear about that?
Smoke? No. What happened?
Apparently, he was the victim of a home invasion. But the story's coming out that he had a geotagged story on his Instagram of him and his guys like holding racks and.
Oh, yeah. The geotag thing is real. Yeah, and it sucks. Like, what the fuck is that? You're just giving people the like authority, the information to, do shit like that.
It's like, oh, hey, hundreds of thousands of dollars. We know exactly where it is. Cool.
Ugh. Also, why anyone that's listening, not to blame the victims, but definitely don't be posting pictures of money and how much money you make online, because it's definitely going to get you in trouble in the long run.
Yeah, even if it doesn't get you in trouble with criminals, it might get you in trouble with the IRS.
True, that as well. Yes, definitely not smart.
No, it's not good. Like,
I see it a lot, and I don't blame you. I get it. Have your hustle. I'm proud of you, but like, you don't want any trouble.
Honestly, it's just easier to be like, nope, I live a modest lifestyle.
Exactly.
Because honestly, I feel like if I ever came into any real money, I would still drive a fairly shit car.
No, that's the advice all of my drug dealers have told me. Not that I do drugs, 'cause I don't. But if, ever I run into one just randomly, that's the advice, is just low profile.
What's the line from Cassidy? Just a rubber band on my wrist, no jewels.
Exactly. I don't know what Cassidy is, but they had a good point.
He's a rapper who sang a song called I'm a Hustler.
I'm a hustler, aren't we all?
Some days I sleep in and eat shabu shabu and then get nothing done. So, except this amazing podcast that you're listening to right now. Yay.
Yeah, this is something for sure.
Like, I don't know if this is amazing, but I'm here. And I committed to this, so
I have to pretend it's amazing or else it looks bad on me. So,
wow.
No, but in all
15 minutes
honesty,
in, she's already faking it on me, folks.
Okay, well, listen, I fake it a lot, but if anyone watches my videos, you can probably tell. But I'm not very good at acting. But what I was going to say is, I'm not saying that I did nothing today, but I definitely could have done more. So don't feel ashamed at what you've accomplished today, because probably more than I have.
I'm not actually ashamed. And that's the thing. That's the trap. Like, oh, I could always be doing more. I can always be doing more. And then you're like, you get overwhelmed, you burn out.
Yeah.
You're like, fuck, why did I not take a minute and like enjoy myself or relax?
Exactly. You know what I like? This one guy that I follow, he's a philosopher. So do you know Stoicism, like the philosophy?
A little bit.
So like one of the things that they do is they like meditate on death, and they also meditate on the worst thing that could happen. So whenever they're thinking of something, you know how you have those fears that are just like, whatever, like I'm going to die and get eaten by a dinosaur and this helicopter is going to come and the police are going to come. Like you think like all the bad things are going to happen. So you sit with that, you think about that, and you spend time thinking about that thing. So then when that doesn't happen, even if something bad happens, it's not that bad. So you're like, oh, okay, cool. Like at least something good happened, or at least I didn't get murdered.
It's about lowering expectations. Like if you expect, I mean, that's a lot of how I live my life is like, hope for the best, expect the worst.
Exactly. And then that way you don't panic because you've already spent time thinking about all the bad things that can happen. And then when they don't happen, because they probably won't, then you're like, oh, okay, good. This was kind of cool. Like, I got like harassed maybe a little bit. Maybe I didn't make any money. Maybe I, whatever, like bad things happen, but I didn't die. I didn't get robbed. I
didn't shit myself in public.
Exactly. Which is also okay as long as no one can smell it.
Yeah.
Just don't wear white pants.
But they look so good on me. I'm not wearing white pants right now.
I'll just you'll have to send me a picture so I can see.
That'll cost you $15 or you have to join my OnlyFans.
Okay, I can join your OnlyFans. I think it's worthwhile, right?
Probably not. It's just me modeling white pants. That's all it is. Not even putting I'm not even putting gray sweatpants on. I'm just modeling white pants, loose white pants, no imprints.
And then every once in a while, you'll see like a little spot, and you're like, "Hey, is that a shit stain?"
Oh, it won't be little. It'll be like it'll be brown and look like someone's, doing period protests. Have you ever?
Oh, yeah. Interesting. I'll just start one of those.
Your second OnlyFans of just weird, artistic, shit-stained pants.
And period pants.
Just bodily fluid pants.
Sounds like an infomercial.
Hello, and welcome to A Now We Drink for today's episode, Bodily Fluid Pants. And you.
I'm just trying to think of like how that would start if we did an infomercial. Tired of old, boring, dry pants.
No, you gotta do it like have the ShamWow guy do it, like
the like angry guy that's like on a bunch of cocaine.
Yeah. You gotta like the mad aggressive pitch about it. Like, are you tired of old dry pants? Well, I got something for you. How would you like some bloody period pants? They're absorbent. I don't.
Yeah. Well, they don't have to be. They shouldn't be absorbent. Actually, they should be non-absorbent.
You just want them dripping right down to the street.
Exactly.
You want to Hansel and Gretel people all the way back to your house with your period blood, like.
Yeah. So they can steal my safe full of gold.
Your rose gold safe full of gold.
Yeah. Forget Instagram now. Period pants. They leave a trail wherever they go.
Oh, I think you just coined it pretty well. Now, period pants.
Now that's what I call period pants.
Boom.
My new album.
Boom.
Kids Bop period pants.
Oh my God.
If I weren't so like tipsy already, I would think of like cool song names that would go on there.
They'll come to you. Don't worry.
Yeah, they will eventually. Like, we'll be like 20 minutes into a new conversation, and I'll just be like, that one.
I'm just expecting like a text 2 days later. Matt, I got it. I got the song. Like, no, I'm never going to remember this after I leave. It's like, nope.
No, probably not. No, I might.
Maybe. We'll see.
Yeah, when I get a text weeks from now, like, hey, it's posted now. Like, oh, that's right, I did that podcast. I don't remember what I said. Hope I didn't say anything fucked up.
Oh, I'm hoping you do. I mean, I'm absolutely hoping you say something ridiculously fucked up.
Hopefully I didn't, like, say my address and how much money I have at my address. And
no, you already said you don't keep the gold there.
That's right. That's true. So it doesn't matter. But I do keep my period blood there.
That's worth something to somebody.
It is.
Have you ever had anyone try to buy bodily fluids off you?
Would you consider feces a fluid? Or it's kind of...
I mean, depending on what you ate.
True. I would say, mine is like... It's like in the middle. Like, it's not, it's not like a rock. Because it's pretty healthy. It's like soft, but not too soft. Like, not liquid, yeah. But anyway.
That's a good sales pitch.
Enough about my poop, yeah. I have had people ask me about buying that before, jars of that. But they weren't... I don't think they were serious. It was kind of like a phone sex thing. I think it was like more of a fantasy. Like they wanted to talk about it, but I don't think they ever actually wanted it, Should have sent them to them anyway. It's been like, you asked for it, buddy. Here you go. If I had their address, it would be great. But I unfortunately know nothing about them. If I did, I would definitely have sent it.
You just got to start the Sex Panther off. Like, if you're going to ask for poop, I need your address now.
Yeah. Yeah. Before we even talk on the phone.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely.
Get it right out of them.
First, I don't think anyone's ever asked for piss or menstrual blood. No. I did think one time about selling my cum as lube, because that's like as real as it gets, right? Like real lube. Yeah, but it would be hard. You'd have to put preservatives in it for sure. And like you'd have to find a way to really like mason jar that up,
I'm sure there's a way.
Yeah.
I'm absolutely sure. And the thing about it is, it's like, buyer beware. If you don't use it quick, it goes bad.
Yeah, that's true. So incentive to fuck like right now.
Yeah. I mean, you could do a package deal of like real lube and like a mold of your vagina.
That would be good.
Be groundbreaking.
Or a moldy vagina.
I wasn't going to state the status of your vagina. I was not going to make any comment about that.
It's not like that. I'm just saying I could make it like that. Kind of like, anyone could. Yeah.
I mean, if someone's into it, I'm not here to kink shame people. If they're into moldy vagina, cool.
Yeah, I don't know how that would happen, but I'm sure it's possible.
Well, if it's a moldy mold of your vagina, I'm sure if you could put something in there.
Oh, yeah, for sure. We'll figure it out. Maybe some cheese.
Blue cheese, just stuffed blue cheese.
Everyone likes cheese, right?
Except lactose intolerance.
Cheese is actually pretty low lactose.
I know.
Like 1%, 2%, something like that. So, yeah. I think people will be okay, but definitely vegans don't like cheese. So we'll have to figure something else for that. But there's plenty of mold in the world. That's actually, when you find my safe, I'm not going to say where it is, but when you find my safe, it's actually just a bunch of mold in there. Like there's no actual like riches. It's just like fermented and moldy things. So.
You're making homemade penicillin.
Good luck. Homemade penicillin, that sounds like a waste.
I don't know. Depends on how thrifty you are.
How do you make penicillin?
That is a good question. We can ask the internet. How do you make penicillin? Because I'm not a doctor or a chemist or...
A penicillinite.
Hey, it popped up number 2. How do you make penicillin? One way is to add how to make penicillin at home. First article. Hey, look, it's your vagina.
Internet.
It's your vagina.
It really does look like my vagina, actually. If it were moldy, of course. It kind of looks like a conch shell if like you put mold on it.
With a stem hanging out of it.
So how do you make penicillin? Matt Slayer?
So once you have moldy bread or produce, you need to... you have to identify which mold it is.
Oh my! Wait, so you make penicillin out of mold?
Oh, yeah.
What?
No.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's where
Interesting.
we originally developed penicillin from.
Weird.
Yeah.
Well, I guess I've never learned that. Fuck you, school system.
See? We're educational in this motherfucker, too.
Learning so much.
Like, I learned about moldy vaginas and that it has penicillin. Yeah. But if your vagina was really moldy, it would definitely reduce any STD risk.
True. That's right, actually. Maybe that's, we're on to something. I mean, that's why your vagina produces, like, you know how people get, like, infections, like bacteria and yeast and stuff? That's why, is, like, because your vagina is trying to protect against those things. So, it already kind of does that. It's just, like, we need to take it up a notch. Make it...
Whole nother fucking level.
Yeah.
Make it chunky style.
Yeah. And then it would taste good, too, because if, like, people like cheese, you know...
Just... moldy, cheesy vagina.
Sign me up. Why do you ask that?
What kind of queso do you want coming out of your vagina?
Ooh, I don't know if I could even say.
You're like, what the fuck did I sign up for? Fuck.
I'm just looking, because you have this poster behind you that says Heroes of the Blues, and we're talking about like blue cheese, and I just, you know, kind of like, I don't know, put me in a place. Heroes of the blue cheese vagina.
Well, the first guy who fucked you with the blue cheese vagina would definitely be the hero of the blue cheese vagina.
I would say so. And he also is clearly a jazz musician and like plays guitar.
Maybe has a heroin problem.
Maybe. But that goes without saying, I think.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's how you get into jazz, right?
Yeah, right. Or like you have to have some sort of... You have to have something to get you through the learning, because definitely the learning of jazz, like all of the like repetition and like you got to just sit there and play music all day, which is great. It's fun. But like if you're going to do that, you definitely need a little something.
Do you actually play music?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I took a jazz ukulele workshop once. It was fun. But
ukulele?
Yeah, I know, weird, right? It was like or like a blues ukulele or something like. It was like a week-long thing. But no, that's not the only time I played music. That was just like a one-time thing I did for fun. But I do actually make music. Yeah.
What kind of music are you making?
I do like electronic production. So I don't know what I would call, like, I guess some house, some experimental trap, like, yeah, like a little poppy and a little experimental vocals. Yeah. Definitely fun.
Produce all of it yourself?
Myself, sometimes I work with other people. Usually, like, there's some input from other people. But yeah, I have, like, production software and everything. So it's really not that hard. It's just, it's, like, one of those things, like, anyone can do it with, like, a little bit of, like, YouTube tutorials. But to be, like, good, like, on the level of, like, Timbaland or something, like, you need, like, yeah, some pretty expensive equipment and, like,
a giant mouse head.
That too, that helps. Any sort of large animal-inspired headpiece definitely helps with music production, I will say. Headphones are usually the best, but sometimes if you want to be a mouse, great. Yeah, but like money is definitely involved, and also time. You know, lots of people that are like high-level producers have degrees, and lots of like...
Well, it's the whole 10,000 hours to become an expert thing.
Yeah, that's right. So I definitely haven't done it for 10,000 hours, but
Slacker.
I know, right? I'm just too busy. What did you have, shabu shabu today? Is that
I
what you-
did.
Yeah, I'm just too busy laying in bed all day and drinking and having shabu shabu. Someday we'll get there.
You're like, I could be doing music right now, but I'm on this bullshit podcast.
I know, I could. I could be doing so many things. I'm like editing this video right now that I should be doing. And here I am drinking out of a vagina straw, getting no work done.
Well, I appreciate it. I appreciate that you have graced our humble show with your presence, that you have given up your music dreams to come tell dick jokes on the internet with me.
You know, I think this might be a better dream to tell dick jokes on the internet.
That's my dream. You can't have it. It's mine. Mine.
Okay. I'll tell vagina jokes.
Okay. Well, you can tell those. I tell those too sometimes, though. But they're not quite as authentic because I don't have one.
That's easy to rectify. You know that?
No, that's also time and money.
I mean, time, definitely.
Well, to have a surgeon like remove my penis and install a vagina,
No, I was saying like someone else's vagina.
but that wouldn't be my vagina to make jokes about.
If you owned her, it would, or like had control over her, it would.
That sounds like a lot more work than getting my own.
It's work, but you'd be surprised.
I'd be surprised at how much work it is.
No, you'd be surprised at how easy it would be comparatively if you don't want to go through the pain.
Oh, I mean, they'd put me under. I wouldn't stay awake for that surgery.
Oh, sure, but afterwards it would be like a lot of work. I mean, I've read a lot about like, you know, the gender transform surgery kind of thing. It's a lot of like when you get a vagina, when you go from like having a penis to a vagina, you have to like, it's not just like, oh, I have a vagina now, let's go have sex. It's like you can actually have sex for I think a year. You're supposed to wait until you have actual intercourse. And you have to like every single day, I think it's every hour actually, like while you're awake or something like that. It's like a lot. You have to, what's it called? Dilate? Or there's a word, there's a specific.
You gotta like
medical
put a
term.
spectrum.
Yeah, you gotta like put like a little thing in there and just kind of like move it around to like, it's almost like you have to like keep the hole open and then make sure it grows properly. Because otherwise it'll just, I don't know what happens.
It's like getting your ears pierced.
Yeah. It's like you can't just like have a vagina. Here we go. Let's have at it. And then you can't like have a real penis in there for a while because it's too much. And yeah.
Yeah, definitely don't go to the mall and get that done with a gun.
No, definitely. I would agree with that. And definitely, what's the other thing? Oh, yeah. Also, apparently, like your pH gets a little fucked up too. It's hard. Not that you can never have a normal pH, but it's hard to have a normal pH when you have that done because, like, you know, your body's kind of like, what's going on? So,
Like, there's a new orifice here. Where'd this come from?
so
Well, I mean, technically, you have an orifice there now. It's just a small orifice.
yes, and then it's a much bigger one that's shaped differently. So just it's a lot of maintenance, really. It's like having a whole new project.
No, I'm going to stick with the penis.
But that's what I'm saying is if you don't want all of the effort, you could just do what like some other guys do, which is just, you know, like manipulate a woman into being in your service and then just use her vagina for whatever you want it for.
I am hyper not good at that.
Yeah, and it's probably for the best because it's a little douchey, but
It's a lot, douchey.
I'm sure you could learn like YouTube videos.
I got to get a stupid hat. Well, a dumber hat. I am wearing a stupid hat, but you got to wear like, you know, a really stupid hat to neg people, don't you?
Yeah. The way you made that out, it's like one of those like
Top hat, yeah.
like
Doesn't that dude Mystery, the guy who teaches like negging people, wear a stupid fucking hat? I think.
look it up. I want to see. Yeah, I think the dumber and the bigger the hat, probably the better you are at negging people. Like research shitty, unavailable dads and like,
There it is. I found it.
ooh, that's gross. This guy. So I've actually never seen this guy in my life. Let me see. Wait, God, like I always knew this guy was gross just based on his content. I've never actually watched it or seen him, but now that I've seen what he looks like, I am terrified.
There's another one with another dumb hat. He's like a sea of dumb hats.
Oh, he's definitely like a transformed incel.
He figured it out. He's like, I can find a way for women to sleep with me. I'm going to dress like a complete douchebag.
It works though, not on like quality women, of course, or not on like women with self-esteem, but it definitely like there's something to be said for that. Like, I'm gonna look like a total idiot because like some
I'm
girl,
peacocking.
exactly, yeah, just like that. Oh my god, he's so unique. Like wow, he doesn't care what anyone thinks about him. That's so cool.
He must be an artist.
Yeah, I bet he's like a DJ. Yeah.
Oh,
I love artists, like love, and like guys who skateboard and like guys who work at coffee shops and like bars and like waiters, or like guys who, you know, I really love guys who are like unemployed but don't collect unemployment, just like live with their parents, because like, you know, that's a lot of paperwork. I respect that more. Don't you?
definitely. I definitely enjoy hanging out with the dude who mooches.
Question, now that I've thought of this, so very important, do you know what a dusty is? Have you heard that term?
I have not.
I found that not a lot of people know what a dusty is. So
Please enlighten me in the audience.
I had to explain this a lot lately, and I think it's just important to know for your own sake, but also like just because it's funny. A dusty, it's basically a scrub. It's basically a man who mooches off of a woman, a man who doesn't really have a lot of financial resources, usually like somewhat attractive or like charming enough that like he can convince a woman or somebody to help him out or support him while he's like figuring shit out, but like he never does.
I mean, we used to just call those suitcase pimps.
But that's more like in the industry, though. That's not like dusties exist like in all spheres of the world.
This is very true. I'm just, so inundated in the industry. It's like, any dude who's generally pulling that off is, or at least in my general orbit, is in the industry doing it.
But at least the thing with a suitcase pimp is if you get a good suitcase pimp,
there's no such fucking thing as that.
which there's no such thing. But if you get a somewhat helpful suitcase pimp, he actually will like do stuff for you and like help you out and run your content stores and maybe text your sugar daddies and your fans for you and help you out. Like he's actually, even though he's a shit, he's still helping you out.
Well, yeah, because he doesn't want to end up on the street.
Exactly. And because his dreams have been crushed, so he has to help you because he has no other choices. I get it. Trust me, I've seen it. But at least like the suitcase pimp is somewhat helpful and productive for you. A dusty like might be productive for you for like a few months to like convince you. And then once he's in, once you've helped him out with something, like just becomes total piece of shit.
I've definitely seen some suitcase pimps that have gone the way of Dusty.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, and there's overlap. See, that's the thing, is we have to remember.
There's a whole Venn diagram of it.
So here's like Dusty, suitcase pimp, and then in the middle, there's like, you know, they definitely kind of cross over here and there. But I would say the suitcase pimp is a form of Dusty that's maybe a bit more productive in some regards at times. Whereas like a Dusty in its purest form is not necessarily a suitcase pimp, but could be. It's like square rectangle thing, you know?
Yeah. It's one of those things where, like, as a dude, I don't know, maybe I just got too much pride. I would rather.
And you should.
I would rather go work a menial fucking job than, you know, have my significant other support me. Like, it'd be one thing if, like, hey, we're in a relationship, I lost my job, it's a very temporary thing.
Yeah.
Like, that's the give and take of a healthy relationship. That would also hopefully be reciprocated if my significant other lost her job and we were in a, long-term relationship.
Yeah, exactly. And I totally agree with that. But yeah, the Dusty thing is like, you have to be a certain kind of person to, and the thing is with the Dusty, with like the actual like textbook Dusties, they will probably never admit that they are, or they will probably be very ashamed of it in some way. So even though they're okay with doing it, they will, they'll never like come out and tell everyone like, oh, hey, just so you know, my girlfriend's supporting me. Like, you know, it's kind of under wraps. Like they'll usually probably act like they have something going for them, but really if you dig a little, it's like, oh, so your girlfriend's like paying your bills. Great.
Oh yeah. I mean, he eventually became a full-on suitcase pimp, but when I met him, he was a bartender who bartended like 2 shifts a week, and his sex worker girlfriend supported them, though he would not admit it, that she was even his girlfriend.
Ooh, that's rough.
Like, oh, she's my roommate. And they had separate rooms in the apartment. But
ooh, that's gross.
yeah, well,
I don't even want to know. I mean, I do want to know who this person is, but I don't because I would be very upset. But
thankfully, he's not really in the industry anymore. So
okay, good. Probably for the best.
Yeah, eventually his then wife fucking finally got sick of his shit and left him on his, sent him home on their honeymoon.
Good for her. Good for her, because that's what he deserves.
Yeah. But,
I also like your word, though, fallen suitcase pimp. I just picture, like, fallen angel, but it's just, like, some, like, grimy guy with, like, scruff and, like, just, like, he's, like, drunk, passed out on the ground, yeah.
He was a suitcase pimp, now he's on Skid Row.
You're right. We can only hope. There was definitely one moment where I used to have a boyfriend that was kind of a dusty. Like, before I knew what a dusty was, I was like, oh, that's not good. But
he loved you.
Yeah, whatever.
The eye roll could be audibly heard in the room, guys.
That pause was important. But I actually I was on a date with like another guy who's not a dusty, who's like got money and stuff. And like, not that that's why I'm with him, but you know, like he's established and successful and stuff. And we're like walking and I see this guy and I just kind of stopped because he looked like my ex-boyfriend and he was like homeless. And I was like, and part of me was like, oh, good. And then I realized it wasn't him, but I was like, wow, yeah, if he were homeless, I'd be quite happy. Because I'd be like, there you go. You get what you deserve.
Would you at least give him $1?
Oh, no. I've given him enough dollars. I'm going to fuck himself.
Ice cold. Ice cold.
I mean, that's what they deserve. I mean, honestly, like, I've had this conversation with a few women in my life. If I understand situations are tough and every guy has their thing and we're all like capitalism proletariat and we're all trying. But if I'm trying to date a guy, so I'm 26, almost 27. If I'm trying to date a guy who's white and like doesn't have his shit figured out and doesn't make money and doesn't have a job or like doesn't have his own place, whatever, like I don't feel bad being like, no. Because, like, that's just, like, I did what I had to do. I'm a sex worker. I do porn. I do whatever I have to do to make money. I make it work. If you can't make it work and you're a white guy who's my age or older, wow. Like, what's wrong with you?
Why's it got to be white?
Because white people are privileged. Do we have to have that conversation?
No, I was just curious on the distinction of, like, you know, I understand, yes, white privilege is a thing.
Yeah.
But
it's like, whoa, okay.
No, I understand that's the thing. I was just curious about the caveat that, like, you know, if someone is a person of color, they don't need to be as well-to-do for you.
I would say if you've had it's kind of like if you've had a rough time with, you know, if you're a person of color and because of that, you've endured a lot of like lack of resources growing up and less stuff. But even still, then like, you have to have something going for you and like at least be trying. But definitely, I'm just saying, if you are a white guy or white passing and you haven't figured it out, then I really don't care. Like if you're a person of color, like I might have some sympathy, but still be like, oh, okay. Like you still might need to like work on some things. But definitely if you're a white man that's like late 20s or older and you don't have your shit together, like I just really have no sympathy. Sorry. So anyone who's watching...
Triggered right here. Triggered. Don't have my shit together at all.
You have your shit together.
No, I don't.
You live, okay, so you have an apartment, a nice apartment. You have a roommate, but...
It's like, LA. Everyone does.
Not me, but I also, you know, have other things that I do that probably people don't agree with.
Well, you also probably generate more revenue than I do.
Yes, I do. And that's in part by privilege and in part by choice because I decided to do something that socially alienates me but also makes me really good money.
Does it make you happy, though?
It doesn't make me happy, but it provides me with things that allow me to be happy.
That's what's important.
Yes. Yeah. Because I don't think any job makes you happy, but also like
But there are jobs that make you actively unhappy.
Yes. I wouldn't say my job makes me actively unhappy. I would say, if we're going to get into it, the social things fuck with me a little bit. Like the fact that, you know, it does put a bit of a strain on my relationships and my family and all that stuff. But I have learned to navigate that over time. And it's like a sacrifice I'm willing to make. Because at any point I could get out of it and just be like, oh, fuck this shit. I'm going to go be a normie. But I would also like, I'm the kind of person that I feel so I would feel so at odds with myself if I did something that didn't feel right to me.
Well, and on top of it, you still may have to deal with social stigmas of it being in your past.
Exactly. And even just the fact of like, when I'm in like a more like normie civilian situation, even if people don't know what I do for a living, and then someone makes like an offhanded comment about sex work, I get triggered and it like makes me not like them, or at least be like, hey, dude, you shouldn't say that. And I don't think I could do that all the time, you know?
For sure. And I think in those situations, if we can, if they're open to it, we should try to educate them, not just condemn them. Because a lot of it is trained social stigma and just a lack of education on their part. You know, oh, it's okay to me, you know, make jokes about sex workers because it's a marginalized group that a lot of people, no matter what race, creed, color, income level, feel comfortable talking shit about.
Oh, yeah. And that's funny that you bring that up because I've definitely been in environments, like I do some like social justice work, and I've been in environments where people are like, Black Lives Matter and like disabled people matter, like just like all this, like, you know, everyone matters. We care about everyone. We're fighting for people's rights. And then sex workers are still like, ooh, we don't want to talk about that. And so it's like, it's very ingrained in our society to not like sex workers because there's tons of jokes and there's tons of like, oh, well, these people, they're doing bad things. They should do honest work like the rest of us, whatever. And it is a matter of education. We do have to like talk to people whenever they say stuff like, hey, listen, just so you know, like that's not really nice and here's why. But I think if I were inundated with that all the time, if I were like working some civilian job and constantly hearing people just have shitty attitude towards sex workers and women in general too, I would just be very miserable.
And understandably so, because you can't have the one woman fight for it.
Yeah, no. And especially like being in this world, like where most people are at least kind of accepting, it's easier to navigate that and to feel comfortable as who I am, as opposed to like constantly just being in some like, yeah, just like shit corporate environment.
True. But I mean, even in this accepting environment, there's a lot of hypocrisy.
Oh my God, yes. A disgusting amount of hypocrisy. Disgusting.
Because it's like, I'm sure, you know, there are sugar daddies out there that will take, you know, sex workers out, spend time with them, spend a ton of money on them. But heaven forbid they actually be seen in like a actual social public setting with them.
Oh, yeah. And then there's also what we talk about a lot is the sugar daddies that don't want sex workers. So there will be people on like Seeking Arrangements or other sites that are looking for sugar babies, but they don't want strippers. They don't want escorts. If you're an escort, don't contact me. If you're a stripper, don't contact me. Like they want people that are like working on something, that are like, I'm in school and like whatever. And usually it's bullshit anyway. Most people I know who do those sites that aren't actively like stripping or escorting or doing porn are just on there making up some bullshit like, hello, I'm working on my PhD and blah, blah, blah. And they'd never learned how to read. So like, you know, like just like people, no offense, like, but it's just like bullshit, most of it anyway. Cause it's like, you know, you're trying to get money from someone and you do what you have to do to get money from them. It doesn't matter what you do. So it's like self-defeating when people post shit like that. But it's always funny because there's this weird, like, it's almost like, I want to take advantage of you. I don't want you to be smart. I don't want you to know what you're doing.
I want you to be my sugar baby and just my sugar baby. Like the weird purity of it. Like, like, oh, no. The idea of you with other men, like, oh, no.
Yeah, like, I only want to pay you this much money. I've definitely had a few people who have tried to instigate that sort of situation with me. And, like, they didn't want to give me a lot of money. And I'm like, oh, so you want me to, like, starve and die just to be your sugar baby and like not make that much? Okay, great.
Yeah, that's like, well, I only get one packet, like just one packet of sugar. That's all I get. That's all I'm worth.
Yeah,
motherfucker.
Like a little bit of like Splenda.
Right, it's not even the real thing that gives you cancer.
Yeah, right. I mean, we're all gonna get cancer. Let's be real.
I just had a giant cigar. Of course I am.
Oh yeah. Even if you didn't, I mean, you could be the healthiest person ever and probably still get cancer because, like, well, you know, the country we live in is fucked. But
well, it's also statistically been proven. Like if you live to be a certain age, no matter how old, eventually you will just develop some form of cancer. Just we do that.
Isn't it like 50% of people now? It's like projected will at some point have some form of cancer. It's something like crazy like that.
Yeah, it's pretty fucking nuts. But on the whole sex worker front, I have friends that are civilians that are very accepting of sex work in most situations. but it's still weird hypocrisy. Like a good friend of mine, we're going to Spain in May for their wedding anniversary. Like a big party. I'm like, was talking about bringing, someone in the industry I was dating at the time. And they're like, no, don't bring a porn star to my wedding, like my wedding anniversary.
Oof.
Like, the fuck, dude? This isn't like...
This is my girlfriend.
Right. This is someone I was seeing. But,
Yeah, and it's like, what do you think she's going to be like at the wedding, like sucking somebody's dick and filming and doing a gangbang? Like, no.
I mean, hopefully mine, but...
Hopefully. Yeah, but it's like, I mean, like, would my family say that? Like when I was the, what's it called? The maid of honor. That's what it's called. Sorry, I don't really get the wedding thing. I was the maid of honor at my mother's wedding. And it's like, what are they going to say? Like, oh, you're really going to have a porn star be the maid of honor at your wedding? Like, it's my fucking daughter. She's not going to be up there, like, playing with herself.
Do you take this woman to be your lawfully wedded? I love that we both went for rubbing the bean there.
Well, I was singing, I was actually singing too, because I sing. So I sang like the Ave Maria and everything. I was like, what is it called? The cantor. So just like,
you're Jewish too? Is it a Jewish wedding too?
No, the cantor, Ave Maria. It's a Christian thing.
Oh, okay. Well, the cantor's like a Jewish position, like who sings during religious.
Well, it's also a Christian thing.
I'm not a good religious person at all, so.
I mean, neither am I, but I've heard, I've never been to a synagogue or any sort of Jewish religious function. I've heard the term cantor a number of times in religious settings, so I assume it's like something.
Well, Christianity does steal a lot from Judaism, so.
Oh, I mean, that's fine. I mean, I have no, like, connections to either, so I'm okay with it.
I do at business meetings, and that's about it.
Oh, are you Jewish? That does make sense. Okay.
Like, big nose, likes money. Yeah.
Well, there's a certain, like, I've noticed, like, a certain speech pattern.
All right.
Or, like, maybe just, like, an intonation.
Okay.
With, like, Jewish men. Not all Jewish men, but, like, of course, because, like, there's a lot of Jewish men. But definitely, like, there's, like, a certain, like, a nasal quality. Not, like, a really heavy nasal quality, but, like, a little bit of this, like, kind of sarcasm, like, kind of like that, like, sort of thing, you know what I mean?
I'm a bad stereotype, folks. Shit. Fuck.
Well, I just say this because, like, I've dated a lot of, I tend to like Jewish men. So, like, not saying anything. I'm just saying, like, there's always, like, a certain, like, way of speaking that, like, you kind of have. It's like, oh, okay, that makes sense. I see that.
I think she just told me she has a crush on me. Neat.
Yeah, probably.
Meh.
And definitely you have, like, that, like, nihilism and, like, the sarcasm and
I don't know what you're talking about. Don't know what you're talking about. But I think we were actually really, before we got sidetracked with that, on a very important subject on the sex worker, the hypocrisy from even people that are supposed to be allies and accepting. And
oh, yeah.
It's just fucking crazy.
You know what's, wait, were you saying something important? Because I wanted to say something.
No, I've never said anything important.
I don't know about that, but.
I promise you, and it's never actually very important.
Nothing's important because, like, everything we're saying is stupid and probably no one's listening anyway, but, like.
Why the fuck do people keep saying that? They're like, I'm going to come to your show. I'm here to promote myself, but no one's actually listening to this garbage.
No. People are listening. I'm just saying, like, like proportionally, no one. Like, if we're talking about like a world of like 7-8 billion people.
No, this is not Joe Rogan.
Proportionally speaking, like there are people listening to this, but not like a big portion of society. But anyway,
maybe in due time.
Maybe. I mean, probably soon. Yeah. Now that I'm on here, I think really you're gonna blow up.
Numbers way the fuck up.
Yeah, because I'm like a very famous. No. Was I going to say something about? Oh, what's been funny lately that I've encountered a number of times on set is when men, like male directors, photographers, videographers, think that the problem with the Me Too movement and the rise of like females' autonomy in the entertainment industry, the problem with that isn't that men have been abusing and raping and manipulating women for years. It's the problem is actually that, oh, now I can't flirt with girls on set. Oh, now I can't just fuck girls in the back while we're getting ready. Like, that's the real problem with the Me Too movement. It's not that, like,
well, first and foremost,
have been fucked over.
First and foremost, if it's consensual, you definitely still can.
And you can. But definitely, I think what people don't think about, because men never want to think this, like men, even the most like smart, humble, nice, good men want to think that like all women want their dick. Like that's just kind of like a male thing, I think, like for like straight cis men.
I definitely don't think every woman wants my dick.
You don't think everyone wants your dick, but if a woman does want your dick, you will never stop and think, wait, why does she want my dick? Is she using me? Is she manipulating me? Why does she want? Is she doing this for power or status?
Or is she doing this just to fucking feel good for the moment? This may mean less to her than it does to me.
Well, there's that, yeah, but like
in the power dynamic situation, are you talking?
Yeah, like guys. Like, it's funny to me when, like, I don't know, if I, like, express interest in some man who's, like, twice my age and not very attractive, he immediately thinks, like, oh, she really wants my dick. Like, no, do you really think that? No.
Well, we're hopeful. We're hopeful that you're coming in with honest intentions.
But the lack of ability of self-reflection in general, not just saying, like, in you or your friends, but, like, in general that I've noticed as someone working in this industry is just fascinating to me that like so few men actually think, wait a second, like this girl's really pretty and I'm like rich but not very attractive or interesting. Why does she want me? Well, and that's like the fact that no one really
have never really been a rich man. I've never experienced that.
Okay. So it's different for you. But
there's definitely been women I've had sex with where like there was an off power dynamic even in the social setting. Like not like I could do anything for them to like improve their lives, but like in this circle of, you know, this social setting, like, oh, I was more popular.
Yeah.
Then there's some status to be gained for being associated with me.
Yeah, exactly. And like, and then when you project that even more, when you're in an environment where like, you know, you're fucking the producer, you're fucking the director, you're fucking this cameraman that's been in the industry for 20 years and you're a new girl, that becomes a big thing. And people don't think about that. Like, there's some people that just don't even like, well, like, it's just not fair. Like, if I'm flirting with a girl and she wants to fuck me, why can't we fuck? And it's like, well, didn't you ever stop to think about the fact that, like, maybe she's just fucking you because she thinks she has to, or because she's on set with you and she is new and has no name and she knows that you have a lot of connections. Like,
that's a problem.
Yeah. And I'm not saying that, like, that's always the guy's fault necessarily, but, like, come on. Like, you have to know if a girl gets on set and you're immediately like, hey, baby, blah, blah, blah. And like,
well, that's gross.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I know it's an industry where it's, you know, an outlaw industry in some people's minds still. So even doing the show, I have slept with some guests. It's happened.
Yeah.
Did I question their motives at any point? No, it just happened. Mm-hmm. If they were doing it, because I don't know. I did not question it. But I also respected the fact that, like, I'm trying to just do a show and have fun with people. And it's never about, like, getting people on to fuck them. And it's gross for someone to, like, bring them onto your set and immediately try to jump their bones.
Yeah, exactly. Like, if it happens organically, like, I understand. Like, when you work with somebody, especially in a sexually charged setting, there's a chance that you might like them. They might like you. You might get a little bit like intimate or whatever. I've definitely had sets where I kind of like, oh, this camera guy is kind of cute. This PA is kind of cute. But if it's something where you clearly have like age and status over somebody and you're constantly fucking them in the back room, you have to stop and think like, are they doing this because they like this? Or are they just doing it because like they think I'm going to get them somewhere?
Or they think that this is going to end their career if they say no.
That too. Yes. Yeah. And so, and also it's just funny to me that like, I would think like if someone were purely thinking ethically as like a director, producer, cameraman, they would say, well, you know, this Me Too thing sucks that like I can't just fuck people as much as I used to, but this is good because it's better for the women that they feel respected and they go on set and their only job is to do their job and they don't have to fuck anyone else. Like that's ethical.
Right. Well, they don't. I mean, they don't.
Yeah. And instead of thinking that, they're just like, man, this sucks. Like I used to fuck girls on set all the time. We just go to the bathroom and it's like, oh, okay, good for you.
Hey, guess what? At the end of the day, if you're just trying to fuck dude and you're a director, book yourself in some POV scenes if you're just trying to get laid.
Yeah, because that's an easy way to do it. Or just like network a bit more, talk a bit more. Like you can figure it out. It's not that hard, but whatever. I mean, I just think it's really like short-sighted and also very funny whenever I hear people say stuff like that.
Well, as from the dude's perspective, I don't think most of us give it that much thought because we just don't care.
Most, but there are definitely, I would say that being on set, there are definitely a number of male, whatever, higher ups who have said things like, man, this industry was great, but then now the Me Too thing, like everyone's blah, blah, blah. Like I can't even tell a girl she's pretty or else, you know, I'm going to get in trouble. And it's like, yeah, because probably like...
You were being a creep.
Yeah, you probably have been a fucking creep before. And that's probably why you got in trouble. Or why probably you're scared now. Because you know you're a creep.
If both parties are willingly making an exchange for power and status and like both, it's honest between both parties that that's happening, that's fine.
Yeah, I've always thought that too. I've always very much been a fan of that. Obviously, like I'm in this industry, but I think the problem is that it's not honest a lot of the times. It's a lot of the times like someone's manipulating the other person in some way. And it would be nice if it was just like, hey, listen, you're in charge. You have a lot of money and connections and I don't have anything. I would like to fuck you just, you know, and maybe you can help me out a bit. That would be like equal exchange. Whereas usually it's just like, hey, babe.
Right.
Ooh,
And
I can help you out. And then they don't help you out. Like that's the other thing too, is you never know. There's so many like dumb girls that try to get in the industry that are just like, okay, yeah, sure. Like, I guess. And then nothing.
my audience is aware of this. Like, I'm legitimately working with people in the mainstream Me Too movement right now on another show. And
Right.
even some of the Weinstein survivors that I've worked with were like, yeah, if anyone was willingly making those exchanges with Harvey, more power to them. No one was.
Exactly.
Like, these are women that were actually, you know, I mean, brutalized, sexually assaulted, and even they have the opinion of if it was actually consensual, cool.
Yeah. Yeah. But the thing is with, again,
But it's not. It's not.
It's not. And not with like, I don't want to, again, like I hate to do the like men do this, but like generally there's kind of this like male ego that's like, I don't want to think that women are just using me for my money and status and power. Like I want to just exert the power on them and like I want to be in control. Like,
Well, obviously, a lot of men make use of prostitution, right?
yeah.
Do dudes ever brag to their friends that they banged a prostitute?
It depends. There are circles. I think it's diminishing. If I'm honest, I think it's diminishing. I think there used to be like do you know what a hobbyist is?
Yeah.
So there used to be more of like this big hobbyist community where it's like really rich men.
Can
like,
we tell? Let's explain to the audience.
Okay, so hobbyist is like a man. The hobby is like escorting. So it's like hiring escorts, prostitutes, as you say, to fuck you. So they used to call it like the hobby. They still do call it the hobby, but it's kind of dying out from what I've seen. And there used to be the hobbyist, who is somebody who hires like as a hobby. It's like, you know, some people like build sandcastles, some people play video games, other people hire escorts. Like that's their hobby, is seeing different escorts. So there would be guys in the hobby that would like, oh, did you sleep with this girl? What was she like? Oh, cool. I'll book her next
Well, there was TER. That was the exotic review that were the hobbyists would actually post reviews. It was essentially Yelp for escorts.
And it's actually back up now in the United States, which it wasn't for a while. And so, yeah, there's a number of sites where you can do that sort of thing and reviews.
But I feel like that's like dudes who are bragging to other people in that community. Like, I've definitely met dudes that have, you know, taken advantage of escorts, prostitution. You know, they're not going to fucking go to the bar and watch football with their buddies and be like, bro, totally banged that amazing escort this weekend. It's behind the anonymity and the social circle of where it's acceptable.
Yeah, exactly. And sometimes, I mean, there are certain people that see it with esteem. Like there are certain people, especially I notice more on like the East Coast and in the South, there's a mentality of like, if I book like a really high end, expensive, beautiful, like done up escort, like that's seen as like I'm privileged, I'm powerful because I can pay this beautiful, beautiful woman that's highly sought after to fuck me. And then there's also,
but that's also like wearing a Rolex. It's like, it's a status symbol.
Exactly. And then like out here more on like what I see, and definitely in certain social circles is like the more what you said, like I can't tell anybody, nobody can know. It's like a secret thing.
Well, and it's middle-class puritanical shame is what I figured out. Like with my years in being in the industry, being around it, being around, performers at escort and stuff like that, it's like prostitution really is a stigma for the middle class.
Interesting.
Because, as a dude who came up in the Midwest and, it was always a brand. Like, I'd never pay for it.
Exactly. That mentality. They're like, I don't need to pay for sex. I can get it for free. And like, I've had to have that conversation with some of my like platonic male friends. Like, okay, so how do you feel about yourself? You want to get laid, and then you go to a bar and you talk to this woman, you waste her time and you convince her that you like her as a person to get her to sleep with you for free and then never talk to her again. How does that make you feel?
Well, on top of it, it wasn't free. He bought her drinks. Like, you did not make a direct monetary, you did not necessarily directly purchase that service, but you indirectly purchased that service.
Yeah. And then sometimes if a woman makes you work a little harder, like, oh, I'm not just going to go with you tonight. It's like, okay, I have to buy her dinner, and then I have to maybe buy her a little gift, and I have to take her out a few times before she just leaves. Like, it ends up, you do pay for it. You pay for it in time and money. Whereas like the smarter clients, the more high profile people I see, it's like, they see me because they don't have that time, and they know that they don't like, they have other people they could be with, but they know that they can call me and be like, hey, what's up? You round?
Well, and they get exactly what they want from you.
Yes.
No, nothing else. Because if you pick up a woman at a bar and you start sleeping with her, she may want more than you want. There's where someone else, in your position, they're just like, hey, this is really cut and dry.
Yeah. Yeah. And you know that like, because you're paying me, I'm going to be there. I'm going to be nice. I'm going to have fun. Whatever you want to do pretty much is on the table within reason. Like,
right. And if you don't, you won't get hired again.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And if we don't have fun, you don't like me, like, okay, I won't see you again.
Exactly.
But, like, you can generally assume that because I'm getting something out of this, that I'm going to be like, oh, hey, babe, you look so good. Let's do whatever you want. Yeah, let's have fun. Like, I'm not going to show up and be like, man, I have all these emotions. And
like, you're not going to show up and be like, my day sucked.
Yeah.
Like, you're not having a relationship with this person and being like, man, I had a rough day on set today. Or, this person was a jerk to me. These assholes on social media. Because it's not your job to show up there and bitch to your client about it.
Yeah. And like, what self-respecting woman is like, you hit her up and say like, hey, can you come over in like an hour? Like, what self-respecting, attractive woman is going to be like, okay, I'll be right there. And then I won't hear from you again for a month. And like, you know what I mean?
Well, there are definitely some women with self-respect that do that, but that's also because they have expectations and they may be into the dude and be like, well, this is how I'm going to make him happy. This is how I'll get him to stay. And that's what they want. I mean, that's not necessarily a lack of self-respect. It's just putting
knowledge.
It's a lack of knowledge. It's a lack of, it's putting expectations that are not necessarily there because we as peoples, our communication skills suck almost universally to some degree, especially when emotions are involved.
Yeah.
And if you're emotionally attached to the person, like, well, I don't want to tell him. Like, it's dating's a whole stupid game. It's like, well, I like him, but I can't really tell him I like him because then he's going to run away. But I have to show him enough interest. And, well, he wants to fuck. Will that get him to stay?
By the way, any women who are listening, that is a rookie mistake. If you're fucking some guy and there's no title, he's not your boyfriend. If you're fucking some guy and he just hits you up when he wants to fuck you, he's not your boyfriend. He doesn't give a fuck. PSA. Good night.
PSA. And same with women, too. If, like, some girl's just drunkenly booting calling you.
If anyone's drunkenly booting calling you or, like, they don't actually want to hang out, they only hit you up an hour before they want to hang out, no matter what conversations you have or how much chemistry you have, they don't really want anything.
Yeah. Enjoy the chemistry for good sex.
Yeah. Yeah. And if that's not enough for you, then don't do it. Set boundaries. And if they don't like the boundaries, leave them alone and find someone else because there's lots of fucking people in the world.
There are. I believe we just talked about there being a couple billion of them.
Yeah, more than a couple, many, like 7, 8, 9 billion.
Yeah, I was downplaying it. I'm hoping for the coronavirus to do some winning.
Dude, we do, not that, I don't want a lot of people to die, but we could probably afford a few less people on this earth.
Especially in LA.
Yeah. Definitely, like I think the whole like cap on like how many kids people should have. Like I know people are like, oh, that's wrong, but like I don't know. That might be smart. That might just be logic.
Logically, yes, but people get so emotional when you get into breeding rights.
Yeah, and I get it, but like again, like, yeah, I could probably use some fewer people.
Definitely, but it's a whole weird thing with like you get into a dynamic of like if you only allow one kid, you know, the one kid generally has like bad social skills because they don't know how to share with their siblings, and
But like 2 kids or 3 tops, like.
do you know most people that have like more than 2 or 3?
I think 2 would be a good cap. I think wasn't that the thing in China for a while? You could only have 2 kids.
Yeah, but they fucked up, and there was such a priority on having boys that like people were aborting girls.
But that's also like if we had the like 2 kid law without that, or like, and obviously like if it's an accident, like, oh, I accidentally had like quadruplets, like whatever, like we're not going to kill them, like let them stay. But
No, you let them fight it out when they get out of the womb. You put the 4 of them in a crib with a knife, and whoever lives, lives.
I don't know if they could even pick up. It would have to be a really small knife because they probably just kind of be like,
I mean, they're babies. I mean, that's fine. Or you do it like cockfighting. You just tape razor blades to their arms.
Have you been to a cockfight?
I have not. Have you?
When I was a kid, yeah. Because in South America, it's really big. So I used to go a lot when I was, my dad would take me.
Where in South America did you grow up?
So I grew up here. I grew up in Pittsburgh, but I spent my summers in Peru because that's where my dad lived. And you're not supposed to go. Like cockfighting is like it would be like the equivalent of taking a kid to like a brothel or like you know, it's not somewhere a kid's supposed to go, but like, you know, my dad, whatever, he was like, eh. So I would go to cockfights a lot, and it was weird. It was a weird thing to watch. It's like, really, are we like, this is what we're doing right now? We're gonna like watch this? Okay.
Yeah. It's a weird thing. I mean, at this point in 2020, animals fighting for our entertainment is a bit problematic, but it's it's such a tradition at this point in a lot of cultures, like bullfighting in Spain or Mexico. Like, hey, dude with a sword and a cape stabbing a perfectly good piece of cattle.
Yeah, and it's like, I don't know. I think we need to question those traditions, to be honest. But
we gotta question a lot of traditions. I mean, that is one of the weirdest parts about humanity. It's like we are leaps and bounds, like progressing in technology and all these things, but we still hold on to so many weird traditions. Like almost all organized religion, like obviously I grew up Jewish, not a very good Jew, but I've attended. No, I'm not a good Jew. I got a circumcision. That's about what I got going for me. But I've gone to friends' weddings where it was like a full Catholic mass, and it's just like, this feels so antiquated because it is. But I'm not trying to shit on people finding comfort from it. But it's just weird to me that the fact that like there are things that have survived 1,000 years were written by people that didn't have indoor plumbing.
Yeah, or like knew how to read a lot of the times, or like science. Yeah, there's a lot of things we know now that we didn't know back then, and so it's okay, I think, sometimes to say, oh, that was very nice of them to come up with that, but maybe it doesn't really make sense now.
No, and religion definitely served its place back in the day. Like, human society would not make it to where it was today without organized religion.
But would that be a bad thing?
Yeah, because a lot of us would probably fucking never have made it. Like, we may not have made it to cities and coexisting.
But again, would that be a bad thing? Given the state of affairs in the world right now, would that be a bad thing if we had maybe gone a different direction, or if our species died off and other things had flourished?
I like being alive at the moment, so I'm happy that we made it to this point.
Great, cool. Do you like your life a lot? Because like based on the conversations we have, it sounds like you're a little like self-deprecating. So like I don't know if like you think like, oh wow, my life is so great that I'm so glad that like humans have destroyed the earth and suffered so I can be alive right now. You know what I mean? No,
but I do like alcohol and orgasms, so I'll take what I can get.
That's cool.
You're like, cool story, bro.
Great.
Cool story.
Great.
Yeah.
I'm glad we're there. Glad we've made it.
We're happy that we've made it to real base things that like people are suffering and starving around the world, so you could talk on the internet about how you like alcohol and orgasms.
I mean, I do too. I'd be lying if I say I didn't, but I'm just saying that as much as like I do generally enjoy my life sometimes, and I do like alcohol and orgasms, like if the world would be a better place if me and my brethren were not here, I'd probably take that option. But just saying.
Well, We can't take that option. We're here.
No, we can't. I'm just saying that, I wouldn't, human progress, like, doesn't really, like, I don't really believe in that, because I think a lot of the things we've done, it's like, oh, good, we invented this thing, but like, we're all miserable and fat and unhappy, and like, the world's probably going to end soon. So like, did we really go that far,
Well, even if we continue to progress at a better and, get better about things, there's predictions we got about 9,000 years total as a species. That's about all we got left.
I think that's like, if we make it 9,000 years, I will be very impressed. Like me, wherever I am, like not in heaven, definitely. But if I make it past this life to another life and I see that we make it like 9,000 years, wow.
Do you believe in an afterlife? You're like, what did I sign up for? Fuck.
I've been asking myself that this whole time. Is there an afterlife? I mean, I don't know. Oh, I'm agnostic. I don't know. That's like, I'm like the purest, not the purest because I superlatives, but I am definitely a very pure agnostic in the sense that like there's certain things I can feel intuitively, like, oh, I feel like there is something after death, and I feel like there is more to life than just this physical body, but I literally do not know, and I'm never going to tell anyone that I do know because that would just make me as bad as everybody else.
See, I do fully believe this is the whole show.
Really?
This is it.
So you're atheist? Would you?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
100%. I was agnostic for a long time.
And you've never done like acid or mushrooms or anything?
I did acid on my birthday.
Oh, cool. Nice.
Yeah.
Oh, like, so when we were wrestling, you were on acid?
No, the next night.
Oh, okay, cool. Nice. I wish I had done it with you. I love acid. But anyway.
We will do that again. If
we should do an acid podcast.
Well,
That's even better.
I was actually kicking around for March of like, and now we do mushrooms and just do shrooms on air.
I mean.
No, I love hallucinogens.
Oh, me too. That was like, yeah. Yeah.
But it's one of those things where like, I believe this is the whole show. I think there's nothing after this. And I feel there's no reason to live in fear of experiencing the most you can out of this little finite time we have on the planet.
Yeah.
Hoping and praying that if you do the right thing, the invisible man in the sky will reward you with continuing to exist in misery. Because they're like, oh, well, a lot of life is pretty fucking miserable. So you get eternal misery? Cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, that's kind of what I think is like, I just can't even imagine like, I don't believe in heaven. I believe there's something after this. I don't believe in like an afterlife, but I think there is like either we come back like reincarnation or we like go off to some other place and do another thing that's like similar to this, but a little bit different. Like, I don't think that it's just like, oh, we're done now forever. Like, or maybe we're a tree or maybe we're a plant or an animal. Like,
but if I don't have this consciousness and I don't recall this life, it's the same as not existing again.
That's an interesting point. I like that.
It's like, oh, cool. Yes, my nutrients may feed a tree. I still am not consciously aware of it, so...
Well, so what I think... There's like... I mean, this is a little new agey. Is like the like past life thing where... Like, you know how sometimes people who are like really big on the belief of past lives think that... Oh, this thing that's happening in my life. How am I so good at this? How do I know this thing randomly? Or how is it that I'm like... experiencing the same pattern all the time, and they think that it's like from a past life that brought it over. So I think there's like something to that where it's
or they're just projecting what they want to believe.
Oh yeah, no, I'm not saying it's true or not true. I'm just saying that there's a part of me that feels, not knows or thinks, feels that there are things that I do or that I might do in the future that are like, oh, this is from a past life, or this is something that I somehow have this knowing or feeling from something that happened to me in a life that I don't even remember anymore. It could be, it couldn't be. It's totally, who knows? It's just like a feeling.
And that's, if that brings you comfort and that brings you happiness, awesome.
Yeah.
For me, feelings can be manipulated by brain chemistry. They're important. Feelings are fucking important. But feelings can also be manipulated. Feelings can also lead you wildly astray.
Of course, yeah.
So
so feeling may not be the right word. Intuition.
Okay.
Intuition. And again, I'm not saying I know this, or I'm just saying that in my gut, in my like instinctive feeling, I feel like, oh, there might be something here that has developed from beyond where I can remember. And I don't think that is true necessarily. I just think that it's something that may or may not be.
Oh, it's definitely a possibility.
Yeah.
I'm a dickhead running a podcast. I don't have the fucking answers.
No, none of us do.
Right. I could be completely wrong. I could be like, oh, dead. Oh, shit. White guy with a harp. Fuck.
Well, that's why I like agnosticism, because it's kind of like this, like, okay, like, this is what I think, this is what I feel, but I have no fucking clue. And I could be totally fucking wrong. If someone told me I was wrong, I'd be like, yeah, you're probably right. I am wrong.
See, I transitioned from being agnostic to just being an atheist because I'm not spiritual. And like, it just never had a place in my life. So
you don't like feel any connection to nature? Like, no.
I'm a city kid, do or die.
Yeah.
Like, I'll be out in nature sometimes. I'm like, oh, well, this is nice. This is cool. But it's just like, I would rather be around the hustle and bustle and the dirty and the...
Interesting.
And it's just like, I have no fucking answer. This is all could be one fucking cosmic joke that, you know, because some fucking single-celled organism zigged where it should have zagged, we're here. Who fucking knows?
Oh, absolutely.
So instead of concentrating on what I don't know, what I can't possibly answer, I'll concentrate on the here and now and enjoy the fuck out of it the best I can. Not concern myself with the thing that is beyond my control, which is my own finite time on this planet and what happens after. Whatever happens after is what's going to happen after. So I mean, I'd be lying if I said, I don't give it any thought. Oh, I think about it. I just try to shove it down in and suppress, put a cork in it. Like, nope. Here and now is the important part. You know, people are like, I got a 5-year plan. Fuck you. You may get hit by a car tomorrow. Like, don't sacrifice the here and now for your 5-year plan. I mean, I'm not saying just run wildly amok. But you got to find a balance, which I'm also really bad at sometimes. Like,
in what way?
I work a lot. I work a fucking lot.
Yeah.
So, like, I had a gig for 4 years where I traveled full time on the road. Like, saw my friends and family, like, maybe once a month. It's like, that was in the pursuit of upper middle class money. No.
And you weren't enjoying it?
I was for a minute, because go wherever the fuck I wanted, see the world, get drunk with strangers in strange cities. It was fun for a minute, and then it was like, I refer to it as guest starring in my own life.
Ooh, I like that. That's a good metaphor.
So I up and quit in 2014. I'm like, fuck this. I'm out. I'm going to, try to pursue something that's going to make me less miserable.
And here we are.
Being less miserable.
I'm pretty less miserable now, I would say.
Oh, I'd hope so. I know you weren't coming on here to be like, holy fuck, I was not expecting this deep conversation. Like,
I mean, again, like I said, I'm not trying to like belabor the point, but like my whole life is like I definitely, I don't know if scare is the right word, but I definitely intimidate people because I tend to be kind of like deep and dark, like even without trying. Like also like my vagina, but like my humanity, my person is like kind of naturally like that, and not in like a negative way, just kind of like I can't have just like casual like, so did you hear about the Super Bowl? Like I can't really do that naturally, and so wherever I am, it tends to go in either a dark direction or in a very emotional, or like, I meet someone and like the waiter's telling me about their childhood trauma, like it's just kind of like a natural thing. And I don't think it's a bad thing. It's just like,
oh no, I'm having a good time.
Yeah, just like that's where it's gonna be. It's just like, okay, like we're gonna. I just don't feel like my mental space has time for bullshit. I don't know. It's just never been a thing. But
hey, there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. Like, I'm happy that I'm not having to kill air with like bad dick and fart jokes. Like, I would much rather have.
If you want bad dick and fart jokes, we can do.
I mean, we can get there eventually, but like, I'm actually enjoying the fuck out of this. So. As I said, I don't have the answers. I don't have the answers at fucking all, but I think living for the moment is important, and it's something to strive for.
So let me ask you, I don't know how much time we have. I don't know what you're...
Oh, we got time.
Oh, we got time. Okay, great. So my struggle a little bit is like, so I'm definitely where you are, kind of in like the workaholic zone, where like I fluctuate between like total workaholic and total hedonist, depending on my self-control levels. But
Yep, right there with you on that.
Yes. But one thing that I keep struggling with is like, do you think there is something to be said for like making a 5-year plan? Maybe not making a 10 or 20-year plan, but like having a goal and like, okay, I feel good because I'm working towards something. It might or might not happen, but I feel good that I'm disciplined and I'm not just totally destroying myself and like doing whatever I want to do right now. I'm not going by impulse versus like the total like pure live in the moment mentality of just like, yeah, like who cares about my body? Who cares about my spirit, my soul, and my happiness and my brain chemistry? Like whatever, let's just have fun. Like those two kind of things.
I think I'm living that conflict daily.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, not fucking.
Hail Satan.
Well, no. It's like obviously my body is kind of beat up.
Oh, I thought you were pointing at the.
No, not the Exodus shirt. No, it's like my body's kind of a beat up temple at times. There's some graffiti on it. They may have stolen the altar,
which is kind of cool. I like those kind of places.
Well, thank you. But yeah, I struggle with that daily. Like I'm obviously working towards goals. Like, as I said, I've talked to the audience about this. Like, I've been doing this show for 4 years now. I've trashed some important relationships in my life to pursue doing this show.
Like romantic relationships or like interpersonal,
Both.
general? Okay.
Both. My original co-host was a good friend of mine, and like we barely talk now because we went our separate ways after a year doing the show together.
Sorry.
It is what it is.
I wanted to be your new co-host, but now no.
You're like, nope. Well, and it was purely a business decision. It was like, hey, this relationship as a business relationship is not working. And we tried to go separate ways before it negatively affected the interpersonal relationship. It's too late.
Yeah.
Like, love her to death. And, when we see each other, I try to be cool, but there was irreparable damage.
Oh, that happens sometimes.
On the romantic front, and that was pretty recent. I had an ex-girlfriend on a show that will never air, and that was a bad plan.
Yeah.
But, it was her idea to come do the show. And then it was our bad decision to try to do it when we were both drunk at 3 a.m. And, her and I went from being, over the course of 72 hours, went from being platonic to not platonic again to out of each other's lives. And some of that is on me. Some of that is on her. Some of that is our, various traumas not being compatible at times. Yeah. But I also, even though it was drunk 3 a.m., knew it was a bad idea when I started to do it when she was insistent on still doing the podcast. And I went, fuck it. Let's do it. And it was bad.
Yeah.
So, I've made sacrifices to do this show because this is what I want to do. It's just what I'm willing to do. I'm willing to make sacrifices.
Yeah.
So I think it's important to have goals, but it's also important to, live life and not let the goals be the straight, narrow line you have to walk to get to that goal. Sometimes it's not point A to point B. It's point A to D to B. There's detours.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure when you were in school, you had a dream of what you wanted to be when you grew up.
Well, I moved to LA for a number of reasons, partially because it's sunny and nice. But when I first moved here, part of it was also like I was working on music. That was like my big thing. And then I got here. I've been here like 3 years now. I still work on music, but I don't think that's my like dream anymore. Like I've seen kind of like how the industry works, and
music's so predatory.
It's like worse than porn. It's way worse than porn.
Oh yeah,
so much worse. And it's like, and also not even just predatory, but even the people that aren't predatory are also like, a lot of them are just really toxic. Like even the ones that aren't trying to like fuck you, they have their own agenda, and like they're trying to like use you for something. And
I mean, that's unfortunately a lot of entertainment and I think
part
of it is the chicken and the egg with entertainment, because a lot of people that desire the validation of strangers have some broken things in them to start with.
Oh, yeah.
And then you put people that have some broken things with them to start with in a situation where they're going to face constant rejection.
Yeah.
And now they've been rejected for years, and then maybe they do make it. How has that fucked them up? Are they even aware that that's fucked them up?
Yeah, and how does it change? Like I've noticed even just being in porn, like I'm not by any means like the most successful person in this industry or anywhere even close, but even just like the small amounts of like attention that I've gotten from this have like changed my humanity a little bit. Just like how I live my life, how I interact with people, what I prioritize.
Well, I'm sure it's definitely made you more guarded in some situations.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. And I'm like a lot more, I almost like hate, I still go out and I live my life. I do things, but there's still always this like weird tension and pressure of like, I'm in a social situation with people I don't know and we're all getting along. And like, I know it's only a matter of time before they're like, so what do you do for a living? And I'm like, oh, like I know that question is coming and I'm just like dreading it the whole time. And like, what am I going to say today? and
do you tell the truth or do you give them some, like I work in music instead?
It's so I go back and forth. Depends on like what mood I'm in and what I'm working on at the time. The thing is, it is, even when I do, so I don't like lying, like I just don't feel good doing it. And even when I do, there's a level of like, if you just tell somebody, oh, I work in film, or like I do editing, or I do music, or like, which are all things I do, or like I teach yoga, like whatever. They're all things that I do, but I don't make a lot of money doing, that don't pay my bills. And then they ask more questions and they're like, oh, well then like, where do you teach? Or what company do you work for? Or like, what's your Instagram? Like there's more and more and more and more that comes. So like you have to either have like a thorough through line of like, this is what I do, and like have the answers to all these follow-ups, or you need to just be like, listen, this is what I do.
Yeah. And I think that's one of the things where like being a dude, I have some privilege, which sucks, is like, so what do you do? Well, these days I do podcasting and audio production. Oh, what's your Instagram? Wow, there's a lot of porn stars in there. Yeah, well, yeah. I did production work. I did roadie work. I'm an AVN nominee. These are like, but as in most situations, unless I'm explaining it to a civilian potential romantic partner, is generally met with, that's pretty cool.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's different. Like if I were like a camera person, or if I were a writer for porn, like people would be like, whoa, that's so interesting. But if I'm like, oh no, I'm getting fucked, like it's like, oh, that's a whole other
Well, and the thing about it is, even as a woman, if you said you worked on the production side, I think there would still be some stigma with it.
And there would also be the, so like I've met a lot of people. I used to dance, and I still do sometimes, like stripping. A lot of women who are bartenders or waitresses or door people at strip clubs, if they tell someone, oh, I'm a waitress at this strip club, they're like, oh yeah, I bet you are. Like they immediately think like, oh, you're just covering up, you're really a stripper. Which if you are, that's fine. But of course, people have that stigma. And then there's even people I've met, especially in the Midwest, who are like, oh, I wouldn't date a girl that was a waitress at a strip club because she's always with these guys and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, okay.
Bro, how insecure are you?
Like, exactly. That's ultimately what it comes down. How insecure are you? But unfortunately, a lot of people are pretty insecure.
Well, and it's also, I will freely admit, it's a skill you have to develop. I see it happen time in and time out where like, dudes are all about dating someone, a sex worker in the industry, or just a sex worker in general. They're all about it until it's time for you to go back to work. Mm-hmm. They're like, because the prestige of like, oh, the object of your desire wants to be with me.
Yeah.
And then, oh, fuck. The reality is that object of your desire still has to go make money being the object of your desire.
Yeah, exactly. There's such a like weird double-edged sword. It's like, or with my experience, a lot of the times is like, I mean, and I don't know, because I'm not like going and like hanging out in someone's locker during their like locker room talk, so to speak. But I know that there's a lot of people I've been with that are like, oh, like I fucked this girl, whatever. And like, it's like a bragging right, but it's like, they don't actually want to like be associated with me in any way, or like have like most people know that like we hung out, or that we, like they would never want to date me because like, oh my, who knows?
Well, it's like, oh, I get it from civilian friends all the time. Like, you really want to be with someone who's going to go fuck someone else? I'm like, yeah, man. If I dig her, sure. Like, at the end of the day, she's, fucking someone else on film for a job. It is not necessarily sex that is pleasurable for anyone involved.
No.
It's supposed to be aesthetically pleasing. At the end of the day, if she comes home to me and is into me, that's the important part. Everyone, we're not teenagers. Everyone you've had sex with has had sex with someone else.
Yeah.
They're probably going to have sex with someone after you too.
And what about, like, what I think about is the other thing. So, like, traditionally, a woman is supposed to, like, cook dinner for her man. Like, oh, so what? So, like, what if your wife is a chef? Like, she can't cook dinner for other people? Like, what about all the other intimate things you do? Or what about a therapist? Like, what if your wife is a therapist? Like, people, she's having conversations with people that they've never had with anyone else. They're sharing secrets with her that they've never shared.
Well, the one I usually point out is like, hey, man, would you get butthurt if your woman went and got a massage? That some male masseuse put his hands all over her.
Yeah.
Would you be upset about that? He's giving her physical pleasure.
Exactly. Exactly.
Like, are you, just because he's not sticking his penis inside of her, you're okay with it? Hell, I'm sure you've probably had massages that were better than some sex you've had.
Oh, yeah. Well, and it's still touch. It's still very intimate. You're touching someone's naked body. You're seeing them naked. So what's really the difference? Like, oh, there's like one penetrative element, the end.
Yeah, I think a lot of it just also has to do with something in the male brain about like, but his goo went inside her. I know I put that in probably the most vulgar term possible, but people are just given weird mentalities around sex. Like, well, and it's also a double standard because it's like, if you're a dude and you have sex with a lot of partners, you're a pimp, you're a stud, you're a blah, 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 whatever. Mm-hmm. And it doesn't matter the quality, the connection, whatever. You just were able to contrive, whatever, your penis inside people.
Yeah.
Versus like, you could have 100 partners and it's like, oh, but she's a whore. Like, no, dude, she's a human too. She got hers. Like, even if it wasn't like sex work, who cares?
Yeah.
Like, are you guys passing any diseases back and forth? Is anyone getting hurt in this situation? If the answer is no to both of that, who cares?
Oh, exactly. And it's funny, I see so much, like, even just on my social media or whatever, when I'm just like online, I see these like kind of gender directed things, like women who give it away for free, women who just like, who are like easy and sleep with people like in exchange for just like one drink or one dinner, or like just like this like talk of easy women. And like, it's one thing whenever you sleep with someone because you feel obligated to or because you like them, but you want them to like you, so you just sleep with them because you want that. But what about like when you're just really fucking horny? Like, I've had a number of occasions where I don't sleep with civilians very often, but when I do, it's usually because I'm like so fucking horny that I just like can't even stop. Because normally like I don't want to because like the money thing, and I'm just like, oh no, I don't want to sleep with anyone. But
the money thing, I totally get it. Like, but every once in a while, like, no, oh shit, break glass in case of emergency. Penis.
Yes, yeah. Like every once in a while, I'm just like so like just like, oh god, I just want to get fucked right now. And I swear a lot of the times it's like with guys who, like we're on a date and like they're thinking like, oh, the respectful thing to do if I like a girl is like, we're not going to fuck on the first date. We're just going to hang out and I'll see her next time. And I'm like, no, I want to fuck you right now.
In my personal experience, I learned a long time ago, like, if a woman wants to fuck you on the first date, fuck her on the first date, because you may not get another shot. Especially, there are definitely women that, have problems with rejection, and it's a problem from like, why did that dude turn me down? Mm-hmm. I wanted to fuck him and he said no, which is a whole
that's a whole
ball of wax on like the double standard on consent there too. It's like, well, what's wrong with me if I say no? Like, maybe I don't want to fuck tonight. What's the problem there? But
I think it's I'll be honest, it's like a rejection thing, because usually we expect that like men just want to fuck all the time and they're like horny beasts, and if they don't, it makes us feel like, oh my god, what's wrong with us? Like, because most guys, it is weird for me because like 9 out of 10 guys, if I go on a date with them, they're trying the whole time to get me back to their place, and I'm like, oh no, maybe next time, or maybe I do, who knows? But usually,
But that's your choice.
yeah, but usually there's some push for them, like they're trying to get me home, and if they don't try to do that, I'm almost like, oh my god, like do they not like me? They're not, or if I try to sleep with them, and like, see, I personally generally understand if a guy wants to wait because he wants to get to know me better, or he doesn't want to devalue me, because unfortunately that's kind of how it works a lot of the times with guys, is like the moment they sleep with you, internally there's something that's like, oh, it's not as important anymore, which is weird to me. It's stupid, but it's kind of a cultural thing. But so I get that, but I know a lot of women still, like, if a guy doesn't want to sleep with her, it's almost just like this, what is wrong? Am I not pretty? Am I not
Right. It's a self-esteem thing. Yeah.
Like, yeah.
100%. It's just a fucked up cultural thing.
Yeah. Yeah, because we just think, I mean, I think with like the masculinity thing, there's just this idea that like men are just all hornballs, and if they don't want to fuck you the moment they meet you, there's something wrong with you.
Oh, yeah. And I made that mistake of being like kind of too respectful on, with someone I dated at one point. Well, we went out on one date, and I passed up the opportunity to fuck, and there was never another date. Mm-hmm. It was an important life lesson. Like, oh, she was definitely like, I mean, she was telling me to put it in her. Like, and I'm just like, no, but I really like you. I don't want to just.
But I get that. But in that situation, though, I have to wonder if you did really like her and like you want to get to know her, did she really like you? If she's like, I want you to put it in me right now, and you don't.
Obviously not. There was not a second date.
Yeah, like, because even if some guy said that to me, was like, I really want to hang out with you again, I just don't know that I'm ready yet, I'd be like, oh, okay, well, I like you too, so like, let's do this again sometime.
Well, it was honestly more of a lack of condom situation at that point.
Oh yeah, that too. Yeah. Did you tell her that though, or did you just say, I don't want to fuck you?
I don't recall. It may have been. Yeah. It may have been poor phrasing. I've been known to not communicate well at times. For someone who talks all the fucking time, there's been times where it's like, oh, definitely said the wrong thing. I didn't not say anything. I just, in my brain, I was trying to communicate like, hey, we don't have a condom. In what came out of my mouth hole was, oh, we shouldn't.
Yeah, and we don't realize that a lot, women, that men are kind of simple a lot of the times, and a lot of the times stuff they do or say that we might not like is not necessarily like an affront to us. It's just like guys sometimes don't have the best communication skills, or they're nervous, so they say something stupid, and we think, oh my god, this guy thinks this guy thinks that, but really it's just, oh, I didn't have a condom.
Yeah, well, I mean, a good example is like, with the whole drama with my ex recently, like the morning after the podcast, while shit was still tense, but we were still being like affectionate and stuff like that, she kissed me on the eye, like just like pecked me on the eye instead of like on the lips, and I was just like, why'd you do that? Like, it wasn't like, why'd you kiss me? It was like, why'd you kiss me on the eye? But it came out of like, why'd you do that? And she definitely took it. Oh, yeah. It's just like, well, the horse is already out of the gate. It's too late. I can't,
Although, to be honest, it sounds to me that there was something there. Like, I mean, it sounds like there was, but...
Oh, yeah, no, it was a colossal mess.
But yeah, like, it's like if you were with some woman that you're like in the honeymoon phase with, and she kisses you on the eye, you'd probably be like, oh, that was weird. Like, it would be like a different response. Like, why'd you do that? Like,
well, I mean, it didn't come... I hope I didn't say, like, why'd you do that? It was just like, why'd you do that? Like, my lips are right here. Why are you just kissing me on the eye?
But either way, exes are not a good idea.
Oh, no, it was... I mean, I think I've touched on this on recent episodes because it's been a thing and it was a mess. But, I mean, basically, the quick and dirty of it was like, her and I dated 10 years ago, and we've had a tumultuous, weird relationship ever since. And for the last, 5 years of it, we've just been platonic. Mm-hmm. Completely platonic. I've talked about the relationship on air because, she did mean the fucking world to me. And I had a lot of guilt about how that went when we initially broke up. A lot of guilt. Not to say she was an angel in the situation, but I did some stupid shit. And because we've been platonic, we talk every once. We're talking on and off. And I talked about the relationship on air. She's like, I want to get out of Chicago for a couple days. It'd be fun to come out to LA, do the podcast. I'm like, okay, cool. Yeah. I was expecting her to crash on the couch. She got in at like 1 o'clock in the fucking morning on a Sunday night. By the time we got her out of LAX, got here, like, no bars are open. We just start having a couple drinks. We order some Thai food. We're watching movies. And all of a sudden, it's like instant intimacy. Like, we're cuddling. She's feeding me off her plate. We're messing around. We're having unprotected period sex.
Like the most intimate.
Right. And then we spend the next day, like, anytime I'd roll away from her in bed, she would pull me back into cuddle. Like, we spent most of the next day, like, cuddling in fucking bed. It was like 0 to 60 intimacy. And it opened wounds that I did not know were still there.
Oof.
Yeah, it was a fucking mess.
Yeah, oof, that sounds messy as fuck. Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Too far away.
Yeah. So it was...
That sounds so messy. Tell me more.
No, it was messy as fuck. And as I said, we did the podcast, which was a disaster, a fucking disaster. And then she went back to Chicago, and there's a lot of just unpleasantness afterwards. And then the night after my birthday, while I was walking home tripping on acid drunk, I initially was doing everything in my power to not call her and be like, you can't even fucking wish me a happy birthday.
Oh, yikes.
Yeah, so I did not do that.
Good.
I did not do that. A couple of people I did like war dial to try to talk to somebody while I'm just walking home from the bar tripping drunk. Called me back a couple hours later while I was having just super restless tripping sleep. Like, dude, what's going on? Told them the story. Like, what are you doing? What are you doing? And then I took it upon myself while I was still tripping to write a fairly dramatic text to her and then block her on everything.
Good job.
Yeah.
Good
No,
job.
it was the right move. It was the right move, but it was still like, it's been a thing.
Yeah. Oh, yikes. That's sad. I'm sorry.
Live and learn, or live and possibly repeat the same mistakes in a couple of years. We'll see.
Hopefully not.
The cycle of our trauma has led me to believe that we'll do this again in a couple of years. And
But you don't have to let that happen.
oh no, I'm joking.
Yeah,
I'm joking.
But it's good. I think the blocking thing is good. I know it sounds like dramatic, but it's...
The blocking thing was good. The dramatic text I wrote before I blocked her might not have been the best thing.
Ooh, yeah.
It was very like blocked.
Yeah.
Like, this is goodbye forever. When we get off here, I'll show you the text if you want to see it.
I actually kind of do want to see. I'm curious now. I'm interested. I'm very fascinated by relationship dynamics, like the power and the push and pull and it's interesting.
Yeah, no, it's just I'm not going to get too deep into that, but it was a problem. It was a problem.
Yeah.
And it was just like, oh, well, this is a problem. All around, this is a problem. And I did the right thing eventually, but it took weeks.
Good. I'm glad.
I lost track. I'm retelling the story. I'm like, I lost track of how we got here.
Wait, I'm sorry. Who are you? What are we doing here?
Right? Apparently, we're just on mass therapy session.
It's like, yeah. Oh, in this weird room with all these paintings.
All these paintings and these cameras and these lights and fucking me talking. But, relationship dynamics are fucking
Vagina
rough.
straws.
At the end of the day, relationship dynamics are not cut and dry. They're not fucking rom-coms. Especially for, I don't want to lump us in together, but people like us. People that work. People, not necessarily our personalities, but people in our chosen professions.
Yeah.
Like, and I've talked about this on there plenty of times. Like, I've definitely had civilian women discriminate against me just for my connections to the industry.
Yeah.
I've never been male talent. I've never wanted to be male talent. And
it's a very stigmatized industry. Very.
Right.
Yeah.
That's what I was saying earlier. Like, if I tell a bunch of dudes at the bar, like, oh, this is what I do. I have conversations with a bunch of, performers and, I work on sets occasionally and it's all, yeah, that's so awesome. It's like, no, not really, man. Like, it's work.
People don't get that though. And I agree with you too, the whole like even after you're out of it or even if you're doing other things, like it's still like always there. And there's some people that can't handle that. There's some people that even if you tell them, oh, once upon a time I did this kind of work, it's like, oh, did you? Goodbye.
Oh yeah. Well, and like I'll throughout the years I've had female friends who were like, I'm thinking about getting in the industry. I'm like, why? The first question is always why? Why do you want to get in the industry? And usually it has to do with something with finances. And I very clearly said to him, like, you know, it's not 1990, right? Mm-hmm. People are not handing out fucking 6-figure Vivid contracts anymore.
Yeah, this is something you do if you're okay with it. You're okay with the stigma. You like doing it. You have fun. You want to build a career. You want to work on it. Whatever your reason is, but you have to know that like this is there now. Like there's so many. It's almost insulting to me sometimes. I know some people really do need the money, but there are some people that hit me up or they're just like, yeah, I just like, could you please tell me like what to do, blah, blah, blah. And it's just like, really like, you don't need this. You don't really want this. It's just something that like, you know, you're having a moment of desperation. You're on your period and you're a little broke and you're like, oh man, I don't know.
Well, and the thing about it is like, I would wager, not everyone, but I would definitely wager there are some performers, if you looked into their dollars per hour, if you count their time on social media, interacting with fans, editing, being essentially their own production house, dealing with agents, dealing with getting booked, driving to set, everything that actually goes into doing this job, they're not actually making that much money per hour.
Oh, no, definitely. I would totally agree with you on that. And people don't realize that. And people also, like, people think it's easy. People think it's a quick fix. And then there's always the people that are like, well, you know, like, I want to, like, get paid to, like, be attractive, but I don't really want to have sex. Or, like, I don't want to do this and I don't want to do that. It's like, okay, well, then maybe this isn't for you.
Right. This isn't for you. And then, like, if they're continue to go on from there, it's generally like, okay, you do realize that your previous employment is not a protected class. If you're just dipping your toes in this, be fully aware that the minute you do a scene is on the internet forever.
Yeah.
And you may go get a Joe job years down the road and your boss, your coworkers may have seen your scene and they may just fire you over it.
And your bank account might just be like, oh, sorry, I know this technically isn't okay, but yeah, we just don't want to work with you anymore. Sorry, we just...
Morality.
Yeah, just like not really interested in your business. Goodbye.
Exactly. There are still a lot of stigma for it, and I'm sure you could attest to this on you're severely limited on potential romantic partners for actual intimacy.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And I don't even... People in the industry date all the time, but I know personally, like, I don't even try. Like, if it happens, it happens. And I've had it happen a few times, but usually I just, like, keep to myself. And because I know, like, I meet some guy and he's flirting with me and I'm like, okay, I know the moment I tell you what I do for a living, you're not going to talk to me anymore. Or you're going to be like, oh, cool. And you might try for, like, a date or two and then you're just going to, like, disappear.
Until you have to go back to work.
Yeah. And like, you're going to be, like, and you're going to see my social media and you're going to look at, like, all the crazy shit I do and you're going to be like, ooh, I don't know about that.
Exactly. And that's why so many people in the industry date within the industry.
Yeah.
And
it's also shit sometimes. But.
Oh, it's absolute shit sometimes. Like, because in like any walk of life, there are people that are, just because we do the same job doesn't mean that we're actually compatible.
No. Well, if you're dating, because like a lot of people I've talked to say like, oh, I will only fuck people in the industry. I only date people in the industry. And it's like, okay, well, your dating pool is very limited. And it doesn't consist of a lot of people that like, you know, are very well-to-do financially, because if you're a male talent, like you might be doing well, you might not be. It also, it just like severely limits everything for you. So. And
not to hate on male talent, but there are some fuckboys in the male talent pool.
Oh yeah, definitely. And it's like, it'd be like if you said like, oh, you can only date math teachers for the rest of your life. Like that doesn't mean all math teachers are bad. There's some that are great, I'm sure. But like, I've had a lot of shit math teachers. I've had a lot of like old, fat, married math teachers. Like there's not like a big pool there. You have to like really dig to find those people. And then when you do, you might not even like them that much. They might be okay.
It's a whole weird fucked up cycle because it's just like generally women in the industry are like, well, I'm going to try dating outside the industry. And then they have bad experiences, like you were just saying. And then they're like, well, I'm only going to date within the industry. And then they have bad experiences within the industry. It's like, well, what the fuck do I do now?
Yeah, right. Yeah, it's almost like you... Like
damned if you do, damned if you don't.
Yeah, like sometimes I wonder if... Because I know there are some women in the industry and in other forms of sex work that, like, don't disclose. Like, if they're trying to do civilian dating, they, like, make something up or they have, like, a double life. And, like, I totally respect that. I don't think that's bad because I know you're doing what you have to do.
I do and I don't. I think it's bad and I don't, because eventually that house of cards is going to fall.
It's bad in that way, but it's not bad in the way. I don't think it's ethically wrong because it's like
No, you're doing what you need to do to protect yourself.
Yes, and also to like have a normal life. Like if you have to do that, I know people that do that and like that's fine. I don't judge them for it. But yes, and that's why I don't do it is because I don't want that house of cards. I don't want to have like a year, 2-year relationship with someone, get really intimate and involved, and then like one day they find something out and then it's like, oh shit, yeah, actually I've been lying this whole time. Right.
I mean, that's why like I'm on dating apps. That's why my social media is prevalent on it. I'm 100% upfront about like everything I do on my socials, because it's like, if you're not interested, you're seeing yourself out already. I'm not looking to change my life for you.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I'm limiting my own dating pool, but if you're not going to be cool with it, you're not going to be cool with it. And I would rather not get involved.
Yeah, and I don't like the idea of not being myself, even if people like the other version of me better, the like fake civilian version. I don't want you to like something that's not really me. And I also, I do a lot of things that are interesting within this industry. I have a very strong connection to it. And if you can appreciate that and you're just seeing this like fake constructed side of me that isn't even really there, you don't really love me for me. You just love me for like some bullshit like, oh, I'm like a hippie artist girl. Like, no, that's not who I am. That's like part of me, but here's the real me.
Though you are not defined by your job, it's still part of what you are.
Yeah, and especially in this industry, you deal with challenges that you don't deal with in other industries, and so it does shape you a bit more. And it would almost be like if I were a successful like research chemist and I like made some big discovery, but I couldn't tell anyone that I was a successful research chemist. Like, oh, I'm a bartender. Like, how shit would that be? You know, like if I'm like XBiz award, AVN award winner, and I have to lie to people like, oh no, I haven't done anything. And it just makes you look kind of like a loser.
Well, it makes you look kind of like a loser. And then eventually that house of cards will fall apart because worse comes to worse, someone's going to recognize you in public at some point.
Yeah.
And heaven forbid having to explain to a partner you've been with for years why some dude is like, oh, I know you.
Yeah, and you never know. Like, it's 50-50. He could be like, oh, wow, I totally get it, and I feel sorry, and I'm upset, but also I understand. Or he could be like, wow, you're a total bitch. Fuck you. Goodbye.
Oh, if I was in a relationship with someone for 2 years, and they lied about something that's significant, I'd be out.
Yeah.
100%. Because, it's like, if you don't trust me, if we're supposed to be intimate and you don't trust me enough about that aspect of your life, how can I trust anything else you've told me?
I mean,
no, I totally get protecting yourself, but I also know on like my point of view on it would be, I can't trust anything. Like you violate my trust so badly at this point.
Oh yeah, and I've had that happen. I've only had that happen one time because there was one person I didn't disclose, and that's why I do always because I had a bad experience. And we kind of had that situation where he was like, you know, I've been lied to before, and now I've been lied to again, and I just can't trust you. And I was like, well, but it's not the same. It's not like I didn't lie to you just because I wanted to play you. I lied to you because I didn't think you would like me if you knew this part of me. I was scared and I really wanted this to work. And like, it's a totally different thing, you know?
It is. You know, that is probably my past experiences coloring my response to that. Yeah. And it was his past experiences coloring his response.
And I totally understand. But also it's like again, it's like you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't.
Right. Well, and that's, as I said, that's why I prefer, both you and I, because we both express this, want to be upfront about it because it's better to just be like, you know what? The trash can see itself out if they're not cool with it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, and I don't need that. Like, you
don't need the stress of just walking on eggshells with your potential partner at all times.
Yeah, and like always lying and making shit up and feeling weird. And no, it just makes it for like not even a real relationship, I think, because if I were dating someone and they didn't know what I did for work and I had to lie and make shit up all the time, I just wouldn't feel good.
No, it'd be stressful as fuck.
Dude, yeah. Ugh, no, I don't think I could do that.
Yeah, I don't think you should. No. You shouldn't have to.
No, because monogamy is a construct anyway, so fuck it.
Well, no, I mean, I guess fuck it, not fuck it.
Fuck everything, is what we're saying. Just literally fuck everything and everyone.
Okie dokie. I mean...
Monogamy is a construct. Fuck everyone.
Now, there's still some people I don't want to fuck. I don't...
Fuck everyone you want to fuck.
That wants to fuck you as well.
Yes. Got it.
You got to have that, the mutual wanting to fuck. Because there's plenty of people I want to fuck who definitely don't want to fuck me.
And vice versa, I'm sure.
Yeah, I think I probably have a higher ratio of people I want to fuck that don't want to fuck me versus people that want to fuck me that I don't want to fuck. I mean, I think that's one of my my own damages is like if you get me a little drunk and you're like, I'm into you. I'm like, yep, I'm putting out.
I mean, that's statistically most men. That's not really just you, but just so you know.
I know, but the problem is a lot of times when that happens, it's like someone who wants to they're like, well, your penis being inside me was kind of like me trying to bait you into like wanting more. And I'm like, oh, no. I was just drunk and horny.
Well, that's also kind of like rookie mistake too. Like that's not really how it works. But I think we're conditioned to think that's how it works. Like, oh, he's going to get inside me and he's going to be like, whoa, vagina's great. Definitely going to marry her. But like, no, not really.
I'm like, I hate to break it to you ladies. I've been in some vaginas. I will be in other vaginas. You got to bring more to the table than a vagina.
Yeah, like there's no such thing as like good pussy. Like, yeah, there's.
Oh, yes, there is. There is definitely good pussy.
Well, there's some girls that have like, magic skills and are really good at stuff. But at the end of the day, even still, if she has a really great vagina and really good in bed, but like you don't really like her that much as a person or she's only okay, like that's not really enough to like.
No, it's not. I've definitely still stuck around for 6 months before, but.
Just because the pussy was that good?
It wasn't even that pussy. It was like, oh, well, she was affectionate and the pussy was fun.
Yeah.
That's my own damage, not indicative to.
Yeah.
There's been plenty of like, well, that was great pussy, but I can't stand you. And I'm like, out. Later.
Bye.
Because it's a weird, fucked up. Yeah. I mean, I got my own issues.
Yeah, don't we all?
I think everyone does. And that's the problem is like, people get in their own heads and don't respect that other people have issues and other people have like shit going on with them that may not have anything to do with you.
Oh, like nothing. Yeah.
They are not thinking about you at all.
Oh yeah. I've definitely had times where I'm like, what did I do? And it's like, this motherfucker probably just like has other shit going on or like is dating someone else or what, like it might have literally nothing to do with you.
Oh, 100%. 100%. Like, I was relieved the other day, like, the woman I was, like, hanging out with, like, oh, hey, like, I would like to, I mean, nothing sexual has happened at all, but, like, we were spending some time together, and, like, she's cool. I would prefer to be more than platonic, but she's also rad enough that we're like, if it's platonic, I'm cool. And, like, we had plans, and she canceled them. And I went, well, that sucks. Still like her platonically, and what is what it is. And then like some social media post or something came out where she's just like, I'm in full hustle mode. I'm not trying to date anyone right now. And I'm like, cool, it's not me.
Well, yeah, and that's really like that's what happens when you're I don't know how old she is, but
she's in her 30s, so
yeah, like 20s, even 30s now. Like people are very career driven, especially in Los Angeles, and like sometimes the dating is just a distraction or...
Well, and especially because I'm a horrible influence on her. Like, even hanging out platonically, like, she's like, we can hang out once a month because you were counterproductive to my diet and me not drinking.
Yeah.
Like, last time we hung out, I rolled over to her place and, like, brought a charcuterie plate and fucking we ended up drinking 4 bottles of wine.
Oh, that's excessive. Yeah.
I mean, I only brought 2, and then after we killed 2, she's like, let's order more.
Well, it sounds like she likes to drink too. Maybe repressed.
Oh, I mean, no, but she's definitely like works in entertainment, is like hitting the gym every day. Like, you brought cheese and crackers and wine over. This is not what I'm trying to do right now.
Yeah, but I mean, do you have to hang out with her and have cheese and crackers and wine, or is that the only way you'll have fun? Or
No,
can
not
you
at
hang
all.
out with her and have like broccoli and
Oh no,
like Coke? There's no calories in Coke.
well, fair. I'd rather just do acid with her.
Yeah, right. Or like any drug that doesn't have calories or like low cal, you know.
Yeah, no, I mean,
Yeah.
but it was a fun night because we watched fucking Letterkenny and then watched Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. It was like super chill and fun.
Which how is that, by the way? I want to watch that, but I haven't seen
Which
it.
one?
Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
I enjoyed the fuck out of that movie.
Okay, noted.
I mean, there's some excessive driving scenes, but it's fun.
Excessive is in like too much driving.
The movie would probably be 15 minutes shorter if they cut some of the driving scenes. But it was Tarantino showing off that, like, I was able to block off Hollywood Boulevard to fucking film this movie. It's enjoyable, but I digress. But either way, it's like, I wasn't butthurt that, like, she canceled the plans. Like, I was just happy that it wasn't just me.
Yeah,
It's like, no, well, that's cool. It's not just me. But yeah,
or it might just be. Who knows?
who knows? Who knows? It could be. I don't know. I'm a bad influence. Like, I don't have to drink, but if you give me an opportunity to, I will. She's like, grab some wine on your way over. I'm like, okay, I'll grab some wine.
And maybe some charcuterie.
Well, I was starving, and I was at Ralph's buying the wine. I'm like, yeah, charcuterie plate. That's something to bring.
Do they have good charcuterie?
No, it was not a good charcuterie plate.
Yeah, that's.
I mean, no, it was a Hormel party tray. I'm just calling it a charcuterie tray.
But what was it?
Like one of those Hormel, like, party trays. I'm just calling it a charcuterie tray.
I was like, wow, that's really fancy. Where do you get one of those? Like, oh no, Ralph's. Like, you know,
It was really just
the, like fake salami. Yeah.
Thankfully, she's a vegetarian, so I ate all the fake salami.
Got it. Yeah, that's probably not your best move. Like, oh,
No, she was happy with it. She was happy with the cheese and crackers.
okay, cool.
But she's like, fucking, I'm trying to eat clean, and you brought cheese and crackers over as she's eating them.
Yeah, and wine. Yeah, definitely not the best thing.
She asked me to bring the wine.
But still, the cheese is on you.
Oh, yeah.
And
I know a woman's heart. Cheese. And Reese's peanut butter cups.
oh, that too. Yeah, or like the organic ones, like the Justin's, I think they're called.
Yeah.
Like the dark chocolate ones. Like that definitely melt me a little bit. But wine, I don't know. Wine doesn't get me that much, but cheese definitely. Cheese.
So, dudes out there, stop being a civilian. Bring wine and cheese. Well, don't bring the wine. Bring tequila and cheese.
Tequila and cheese, maybe some salami.
Better than the Hormel shit. Don't bring the bad Hormel shit.
No, bring like real cheese.
Real cheese, real salami.
cheese.
I love that you're getting all sensual with it, like real cheese.
I can't believe it's not Kraft.
Oh my god, oh, it's fucking ridiculous. So, you having any real life dating adventures?
I think that's a little private.
Okay, that's
no,
fine.
I'm kidding. Yeah, I mean, like, kind of ish, but like, it's hard to say. I don't know.
Got a couple on the back burner at the moment.
The back burner, yeah. I think they might be like kind of charred by now. They've been on their
You're supposed to stir it every once in a while, woman.
just like a layer of like crust on the top.
As long as they're not dusty.
Oh yeah,
Ah,
that was a good set. I like that you brought it full circle.
yeah, we do callbacks here occasionally.
I hope I'll probably never get called back. That's okay.
Oh wow, ow!
No, I was thinking I'll probably never get called
I
back.
know that's just painful for me to hear.
I was kidding. I was like, no, I was just joking. Yeah.
I just thought it was just hurtful, so just self-deprecating. I'll stop running
As
with
if
that.
you haven't.
Oh, not at all. Never.
You're never self-deprecating.
Never. I am the coolest host of this show.
Yeah, you are. I would
I'm the only host of the show, so yeah,
agree.
I do fall under the coolest one because I'm the only one.
The host with the most.
Aw. You got a couple that are burnt at the moment?
Couple burnt. No, I have some people that I'm seeing, but I'm just trying to be like more chill. Like let things, instead of like going 0 to 100 and then things tanking, I'm trying to be more like, okay, let's like hang out, get to know each other, be friends, maybe someday. Like, I don't know. I have to say, like, I'm honestly a little scared. Like,
Okay.
The idea of like getting close to somebody scares me right now. Does that make sense?
100%.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah, like it all these things come up for me that's like, oh wow, like we've hung out a few times and like that's weird. We're like we know things about each other. Because usually it's like I like somebody, like I don't like people very often, but when I do, it's like I like them, and then within like a few days or a few weeks, it's like it fizzles out, and so I don't have to worry about that.
It's just like, it burns hot and burns out.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, oh, passion, goodbye. And when there's more of the other way around, where it's like, oh, we're like slowly getting to know each other better and better, it's like there's this whole new can of worms of like, wait, like what are we going to do something here? Is this, how long is this going to last? Are we going to like actually get to know each other? Like what are we going to do? It's just,
are we going to meet each other's families at some point?
Yeah. So that's weird. It's not weird. It's just weird for me, but.
Oh no, it's weird. I mean,
because I've kind of like, what's it called? What's the word I'm looking for? Like I've just accepted that being this person I am, the industry I'm in, like, probably not going to have any like real relationships for quite some time. Maybe someday when I'm like in my late 30s, I'll like get married. But
does that bum you out?
Yes and no. But also it's more comfortable to be like, to just accept that like the vast majority of people don't want to be with me because of what I do, not because of who I am, just because of what I do. And that for now, until I'm out of it, it's probably going to be kind of tough. I've just kind of accepted that for now. And it's easier to just accept that and just live my life without any expectations than it is to like, actually every once in a while I do meet someone that's like, oh, that's cool with me. And then that opens a whole, because like getting close to somebody isn't easy. Letting people in isn't easy. It's almost harder than just shutting everyone out.
I agree. It is. But it's lonely to do it the other way sometimes.
Yeah. Well, it's not entirely, the thing is, it's not entirely lonely because like I have friends, I have work, I have lots of other stuff in my life. It's not like you need like one monogamous partner that's going to make your life better.
No, definitely not. But it's still provide like not the monogamous part, but the eventually letting someone in provides something that friends and work doesn't. It's just a different thing.
Agreed. I agree. Yeah. And it is something like I would be lying if I said I didn't want that. I think it is important, but at the same time, it's like I've become comfortable without it, which I think is also good. Like I think one of the most important things is being comfortable alone. Even if you want something, it's like if you are miserably unhappy being by yourself, there's something wrong.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah. So I think it's important to have that time to like be like, okay, I am happy. I like my life. I have friends. I have work. I have a good life on my own. If something else comes, great. If not, whatever.
Well, 100%. Like anyone who's entering your life on that level should be a compliment to you. No one should complete you.
Oh, no. I don't. Yeah. And like, I think like I have a lot of problems with like the traditional relationship ideals and structure, but I do think, go ahead.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but even in the traditional relationship ideal, no one should be completing you.
Yeah, you should be complete. And then it's just like, oh, there's this wonderful person who also has a cool life and we can hang out together.
Right, and we can have cool lives separate from each other while we're still together.
Yeah, and we can support, like, I think ultimately it comes down to support. It's like, we're humans, we're social creatures, we need a support network. And it's nice to have someone that we're very close to and intimate with that like, oh, you had a rough day, I can help you.
I can draw you an Epsom salt bath.
Yeah, like I can, here, I'll order food for us, I'll cook us dinner. Like, it's nice to have that network.
Right.
But it's also like not necessary. But I guess what I'm saying is just like when my ultimate fear and my struggle is like the trust thing, like trusting people. And I wouldn't say I have trust issues. I would say I have trusted people in the past who have really taken advantage of that. And so now I'm more guarded. And so it's harder to know. There are some people who you know immediately, like, oh, this person I cannot trust as far as I can throw them. They are sleazy douchebags. But then there's those people.
I'm right here. Ouch.
Okay, it's okay, Satan. 666. It's all right.
See, there's that self-deprecating humor right there.
I don't know if I can trust you yet, Matt Slayer, but we're 50-50.
You shouldn't.
You're one of those in the middle. You're in the middle somewhere.
Should not trust me.
Okay, well, you're telling me that, I'm going to believe you.
Good. You should believe men.
Yeah, exactly. No, that's another thing. You should believe men or women, but mostly men. If they tell you, oh, you can't trust me, or I have problems, or I have issues, or I don't want anything serious, or I'm bad at relationships, if they tell you that straight up, you should listen to them because they're telling you the truth.
Hey, if women say that to you too, you should believe them.
Yeah, if anyone tells you that, because like people often like be like, I'm a really bad person, and people are like, oh, you're great, but then slowly they're like, no, wait, you are a bad person, and you told me this the first day I met you, but I didn't listen to you.
Right. Well, and that's what I say, like about being a parent. Like, I would be a horrible father, and everyone's like, no, you'd be a great dad. I'm like, no, I would be a horrible father.
And then if they actually like let you have that opportunity, they would say, yes, maybe you are a horrible father.
Though I will say that the 50-50 on trusting me, I was just being a dick there. So make your own judgments. I'm
still 50-50 on trusting you, but
perfect,
regardless of what you say.
Perfect.
But that's what I'm saying is there's this like gray area of there's the people who you can pretty much tell within a day or two of knowing them if they're sleazy, or sometimes within minutes. And then there's the people that oh my God, like they just wear their heart on their sleeves, and they're sensitive and they're broken. And like you can tell that they're really sweet people that just like want to be loved. And then there's that like middle zone where it's like, okay, this person didn't give me like an immediate red flag of I'm a serial killer, or I am abusive, or I'm mean, or I'm gonna whatever. But they also don't give you that other vibe. And you're like, okay, so, and then everything they say, it's like, that might be a bad thing. That might not be. Because some people are like hidden. They're like more, what's it called? Like covert.
They're cagey about their.
Yeah. Like they might have bad intentions, but they're smart enough to not just come out.
And tell you like, by the way, I know where I'm going to bury your body already.
Yeah. Yeah.
She's like, oh shit, I gotta go.
I do gotta go right now.
Oh.
I'm triggered.
Well, now that you've been triggered, can you at least tell the audience where to find you, to masturbate you, to interact with the social media, all that fun shit?
If you want to masturbate to me after all this, my name is Petra Blair, Petra Blair. You can find me on social media, Instagram, MS, like Ms. Petra Blair. Twitter is Petra Blair XXX. Google me, you'll find me. See my music and my website and, all that stuff. It'll be fun. I post a lot of dumb, stupid, funny shit on my page, so.
I've been known to react to some of it.
Have you?
Yes.
Like, in a big way, or?
No, just usually the quick
emojis, yeah.
Yeah.
Emojis, the communication of the future.
You've responded to me sending emojis to you. Jesus.
Have I?
Yeah. Wow.
It's probably fucked up when I did. I don't know.
Wow. Ego shrinking quickly. Just diminishing my worth as we continue. So, anyways, find her stuff. Listen to her. This has been fun.
Yeah. I can't believe we went that long. Good night.
Well, and good night to you, too. Maybe she'll let me do my own sign off. Maybe. And as always, you can find me at Matt_Slayer on Twitter, Matt Slayer on Instagram, Matt F. Slayer on Facebook. You can find the podcast at And Now We Drink on Twitter, and Now We Drink _ on Instagram. And until next week, drink up, motherfuckers.
And don't kill anybody.
Unless you have to. Self-defense is a thing.